far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, 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 won't you let the light shine through? In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, 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 for you.
invincible. also brought them occasional heartbreak. Yes, let's not forget about that. The Mega Squadron 16-2 comes here behind any here on each of the key points of the bomb site. Forest will be patrolling towards the vent and checkers. There is a CT player in the form of Fallen waiting on the other side. That's the smoke deployed. It's actually quite a powerful one if you think about it. What can Forest really do now to get right to fight up with the Glock here? And he knows that the burst is pretty decent for him sometimes. And there you go. It is going to connect. Dennis will as well. And now it's Fur, who's in a pretty impossible situation. Still in that smoke. That's so fun. But he can just sit there the entire time. It actually worked out for him in the end. A nice little beast play coming in from an IP. As that is trade frags initially on towards the bomb site there. 3 versus 3. And Gary, I spoke to him about Glock Burstfire about 2 days ago. He was outside and I said, I think Burstfire's pretty broken CSGO, and he put my head on straight away. No, it's not. You should have found out how to use it. I use it all the time.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search, but you stay lost.
Well, it's a T-side pistol.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Mysterious, that's the part.
perspective, it looks to be a hit with 55 seconds. The smoke and Molotov and 2 flashes, they could isolate part of the site. The problem is with the smoke stand, you're not really going to be expecting Fur to be up above the captain, so they have vision either way. Stewie's already taken down Dennis as well. Dennis is not really able to do much of a response. They've already thrown the smoke. Flash goes now. Molotov went. Even with the smoke out toward that way, Fur's just standing up there waiting for the Spectre.
There's a distance between us. It's getting hard to reach out. Haven't seen you in season, but all I hear is your voice. I know my limits. You can break me down, but I'll stay till the finish line. And I've been counting minutes for quite some time now, just to see you again. And I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been finding ways to get away, to see you again. We got millions of reasons to let it all go. Hope we're not too broken. I know I'm not always strong, and I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been finding ways to get away, to see you again.
Single kill, they have to get support toward the AWP, which now is fighting a much closer battle than originally as the entry. Stewie, good anticipation on the door, heard it open, goes out, finds one, still looking at the ball. Molotov thrown. This is a bit of a Suzuki situation. They should have potentially already been on that point. You stole on the site. Can you take anything but now? To how close and how much threat he's under, so he'll take the 29 seconds. I gave you all I own, but you weren't golden. It's a second information as to that the fact that a little stronger now. Wants to try and get kills. Casting on my promises, you know I'm too generous.
to never help you out.
which is out the way of where they want it to go.
Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now.
In this major so far, when Cash has been played, the couple of times it has been, but very powerful position. We saw Issa raining down hell from there before. Wallbang attempt from Rez. You can see the bomb still down around T-spawns. They're not really going to be committing towards A just yet, just going through their default right now. AWP of Forest been given a task to look for an ECT aggression. He's not necessarily challenging choke points right now. He's just watching A main. A common position for CB's to push was doing, like I said, a nice shroud boost. He'll be happy to stay there because the flash attempt towards being lucky that was quite deep.
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
But yes, definitely reset potential there. They want to discuss what they can do with this, how they avoid it. Do they go for the set piece off the bat now? A bomb site seems to be working for them that particular round. Echo throws away a flash just so he can buy a smoke or incendiary. A Molotov, I should say.
Let's creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire.
This is also fairly typical.
Set my heart afire. While you and me repeat, this bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire.
But he gets taken down on the turn. It's Tarek with 2 kills before Forrest finds one-man advantage. NIP entering the site. Fur gap in the smoke.
Like you,
can't spot anyone.
be strong to hold the powers of the sun.
You can fly through the skylight potentially. You get Fur in a position. Doesn't have a kill sword for that.
To dream, believe in strength. Now I'm the only one. Only one.
Super honest. Longer this ticks on.
I was an ordinary boy
Gets the kill in time, but I think everyone will survive.
until I broke the rules. My life destroyed. My life destroyed.
Oscar, he can buy himself. The other two guys might be struggling there. But we'll see what happens. I think he'll pass the buyers order. It's another week for now.
Can I be your superhero?
You can start funneling the terrorists where you want them to go. Fly away.
It's the first time of today. Today. To dream, believe. You are the strength, you're all I need. Oh, gonna give it a shot. You all from the enemy. You're a superhero. You're a superhero.
Looking to see if anyone will give him another opportunity with the for the one-taps. Lecro in the end took a few more than one, but still causing damage here. And they can be at this point. How much damage is he going to do? How is this still alive? Finally, they deal with him. And it will be a few rounds in a row now for NIP. 4 to be exact. Recovering. I wasn't sure they were going to.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side.
Save the day with the MVP.
What's left? The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah. No, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go. Through the highways and on we'll go.
top side of it. Part of the reason that little garage, aside from being able to walk down it in middle for whatever you choose, is so interesting because it covers off that position and he catches out Dennis eventually, continuing to shoulder peek it. So Fallen getting the opening kill yet again. The second time he's done so with the solo AWP. Let's get Stewie back. They didn't win the last round either, and Fallen went down after finding it.
Second half, been a very back and forth game. Mibr came out the trap hot after winning the second round. Force5 managed to get a huge amount of rounds on the board, but then MIP helped himself to a few as well, courtesy of Forrest's clutch. Stewie now holding towards middle, was spotted by the AWP of Forrest there, but will fall back. To actually make his way towards short, finds unsuspecting. I'm such good teamwork being deployed right now, and it's cold. I'm falling. Tell me why I'm falling. Oh, life's calling, but it's hard because I'm falling.
where were you?
Receiving
How could I know you were falling to grabbing the wind, cutting my skin, but it's hard because I'm falling. Tell me why I'm falling. Oh, life's calling, but it's hard because I'm falling.
Especially from Tarek, were enough to guarantee the round at this point. Cold Zero, that kill pretty much did it. Forest managed to get one back, but Stewie too sharp with the Glock. 8-8, we are all tied up. It's the first map of a best of 3. Throughout this section of the majors will be best of 1s when it's all to play for. You're the 2-2 team. We changed to best of 3. With the scout, not known to be a sniper, I'll say that much. Let's see what he can do. Let's see what the 2. what is Yanko come up with? Does he want to go for something fast-paced here, considering he has those lighter weapons available. If you can win this round, it's so beneficial. Not only do you get a ton of money in reserve, but you also
you break them down again.
He's down to another recall after that. So what's the play?
As well toward the doorway with his MAC-10. Not uncommon, I think, especially the North American teams. If you want to talk about this scoring, it's a great sound. Detail in the take of Faceit. Great play from Forrest. But they've already lost the bomb point. That's happened already, and there's 2 players forward of MIBR. We just talked about this. This would roll the CTs down once again, and there's no side here, and the CTs were left reeling as they are on around $3,000. Map here. Haven't really mentioned his name at all yet so far while we've been casting this map. A bit of a shame. Thought he would really come into his own once Lekro took over, but either way, Tarek at the very top with Fur on 19 kills. The bottom has fallen to 10, so they're doing a good job of distributing the frags out evenly. Molotovs again. Even though they're up against pistols, you want to use all your units here. There's so much on the line, and these players are very capable. So far to open things up before doing a great job with Forrest's weapon, I believe. The kills required. Awkward. Yeah, it's fine. Dennis able to do much damage today. Only 2 go down. Considering the money they have, that's absolutely fine. With 12,000 still in the so that's absolutely fine. so he couldn't actually see toward the drop, and that means Fur is up on top of it and saw his foot, no question about it. So he's just holding at this point, waiting for Get Right to actually decide to go beyond the mark and try to rebuy it. But he's going to take on Junior's offense. He's going to get in that spot. In time, and Cold manages the round for Mibr, yet to win a round so far. NIP on the CT side. Now, they lost 6 rounds in a row on the T side as well, yes. But CT side money is a more dire situation.
Really is, and they can't really buy it. This is do or die time for NIP. You take the force buy, go into pharmacies, couple of M4s, maybe some UMPs, and try and battle. Or do you take the more conservative approach here? Hold tight, get the pistols out, see if you can squeeze out a victory. Desert Eagles, CZs, they're all hovering around the 4K mark. Not really discussing too much there. They do have something like calls. Forest waiting for the orders. Looks like they're all those Eagles remember just watching him and thinking, how is anyone hitting those shots close range like he does? It's pretty mad. His awareness, his timings, his positioning. It's all quite beautiful when it comes together. 14-8. Fallen manages to negate the AK-47 of Get right there. And it will be Rez and Lecro with the double orbs this time. You can see it's a bit off for me. That's why I'm a big fan of high voltage. Move the orbital out. Forest will be dropped straight away there, trying to have a
sometimes when you're here, I can't feel no doubt, 'cause you keep me when our stars are bound. It doesn't really matter, 'cause you're here with me now. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter, 'cause you're here with me now. It doesn't really matter, 'cause I feel so free now.
Such a great turnaround in the first half. I was really thinking that let's see if that happens again. Four's already down. It certainly could well be. Pressure will be applied to it. Certainly aware that they're on top of the boost. Still isn't enough to take down first.
the timing was so brutal there. Looking for Matt Pointer. Remember, best of 3 for the first today. Dennis is done for. He really has not looked his best. He's still on 6 and 20. I don't think he's going to kill this.
Sometimes when you're here, I can't feel no doubt, 'cause you keep me when the stars are bound. It doesn't really matter, 'cause you're here with me now. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter, 'cause you're here with me now. It doesn't really matter, 'cause I feel so free now.
As UMP there, there's only one kit available, and they're going to have to try to absolutely miss here. So might be on. Probably can be done. We've seen some pretty sensational comeback in the previous matchup there. It's a fake match coming back with 59%. So definitely just yet, but maybe left there is. He'll be played by Paul.
As the door opens, super important that they are. Two players inside as well. There's the 400 to get the ball. But then the lineup rotations would be forced to just rest to rotate, and that is exactly what is happening now. Control line. Dennis continues defensive kills directly on the inside, so it's slow but it's down and allows Reds to adjust accordingly.
It doesn't really matter, 'cause I feel so free now.
Eric now holding for a bit. Wait again for. Looks like Stewie to get back to the door. Look how weak they are as well, though. Stewie on 24, Fur on 2. So now that NIP is rotated with 24 seconds, this is their best chance. Wide. Forklift is awkward, but Dennis makes good on it. Takes down Tarek. The last two players combined for a total of 18 HP. Make that just 2. Chance tries to do what he can. He'll get taken out by
I've been
2
running
kills.
for so long, clear about the path I was on. I was breathless, my heart restless. Every turn felt like it was wrong, but I kept going to show I was strong. Pushing to my own song, but you came, you made me see the weight I put on me was too much, too tough to heal. I needed time, I needed to be still. so gone, broken the hell to every wrong. I'm letting your light shine. I'm letting your love work through me. In every moment, breathe in this moment. You came, you made me see the weight I put on me was too much, too tough to heal. I needed time, I needed to be still, to know.
Because Rez is getting closer toward the wall. He's got the corner covered off. The second Rez goes out. Does he fire? Good. Little bait from the barrel, and Forrest fires back.
There we go then. Sui 2K could have closed it out, but got completely destroyed by the utility. The HE in the pocket. The AWP picked up and then just completely isolated.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in us. They know we'll burn down the night. Something just like the sunrise, you know.
This entire major, a little bit less so in the Legends. Well, I shouldn't say that. There was still quite a bit. Like Hellraiser's, what, played like 3 of them. Cloud9 played 3 of them.
We've had every series today go overtime, so
yeah.
This one would just be, it just makes sense.
Yeah. Anders, stop messing with the simulation. Does that mean dead? I haven't really been paying attention. Am I kicking a dead horse on that one?
In what, sorry?
Never mind. Okay. Lecro. That's unfortunate. Smoke when he had to let them go by. Get right certainly will not.
Good stuff.
At the bottom of Den gets absolutely obliterated, but fair play. His job's done. Dennis and Lecro clean it up. They'll do exactly that. 15-12. No bomb plant on that, which is also an important note, given that they are getting into a 4th round loss bonus. They did have one in the previous round, so there'll still be a healthy enough buy, but look, I just wanted to mention it, all right?
We'll see whether Fallen wants to bring out the AWP. 5k to his name. I would say probably not. Doesn't need it. Definitely capable of using the AK, but things now starting to fall apart slightly for the Made in Brazil squad. Fallen still thinking about his decision going forward. Lecro and Get Right operating at maximum capacity in the last few rounds. Get Right especially mowing them down, looking like he brought his and 2. He said that he didn't practice the day before, and for this game especially, he's playing all the FPLs, all the deathmatch he possibly can. He feels that that's when he plays his absolute best, and you can see it working out quite nicely for him. It's the sharpest he's looked probably all tournament.
12,000 souvenirs dropped this day so far, according to the counter. Forrest nades in. They'll stack those up to try and get some damage onto Fallen. He's a little bit too far away to take any from that. But Rez is going to push through. We haven't seen a push into B-main yet. Fallen has been watching this smoke every single time, and that's what Rez did not know.
Indeed, it was Forrest who was taken down before. Rez Not scared of giving the round away. He wants to fight for those kills. Got to respect it. He does go down though. 5 versus 4. Could this be the round that closes it out for Mibr? Cold Zera edges towards the bomb side, but he's going to be taken down. He's not going to. Oh, it's a shame. Such a common position as well. And down he goes, 4 on 4.
Forrest didn't exactly make that look super accurate, but it was far too easy anyway. There was no way he wasn't getting the kill. But you're right. To not check that seems somewhat peculiar given the situation. Perhaps they thought Rez being so far forward would be the only real positioning they'd have toward the B site. Fur gets boosted up. He'll head over toward Cubby. Drop down. Highway next. 2-2 split. No mid presence at all from NIP. Which also means longer rotations, specifically from B to A, because the player at truck obviously can get to B a little more quickly, but they don't have anyone boosted in the vents to try and rotate in behind them and flank them out toward mid. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if one Mibr player here of the 3 that are in middle right now continues on and goes towards spawn. Spotted though. Dennis does see first. He's going to do exactly that. Try and get in between. Good position from Fur. Gets it behind the ticket booth. Desperate is Forrest to try and Dennis to try and get it down. Fur gets away with it, but look at the kills in response because they are in the back line. Somehow no spray from Stewie. Get right gets the kill, and that might be enough to keep NIP alive. 5 seconds, no play. Round is over.
No money for Fur. He'll hide in the now. Oh my goodness, Stewie had the game in his hands there. 2 players in front of him couldn't connect the dots with the AK-47. And NIP now brought it to 2. 15-13. Has to be the eco point, I'd imagine, as well from Mibr. They need the money for the last round here. Great mental composure from the Ninjas, I have to say. Didn't think they had it in them. But now, with 5 rounds in a row, just 2 away, and this is a partial buy from Mibr. They got the CZ, Steagles, and an AK. Definitely still a powerful combination, don't get me wrong. They definitely are capable of winning these rounds, but NIP definitely have the advantage.
This is almost a repeat of the first half.
Yep.
Mibr get a massive slew of rounds. Looks like NIP has nothing in response, and then boom, suddenly it all, like the flick of a switch, changes directions. Lekro, Dennis again, they'll shut down. Mibr's taken the A sites. AK still in play because Fallen was able to grab that after his teammate went down. He'll take a bit more damage from the flames. Has armor to work with, but only that 23 HP. As soon as Cole plants this bomb, it's worth it to try and, never mind, transfer that AK over to him, but he'll stay on the deagle. Knows that that AK is down behind him. If he finds 1 kill, he might get toward it, but that's a pretty sexy kill. Nearly got a chance for a second, but they were all on the corner, all firing at him as a squad, and it's now 1 round on round 30.
It is. I can't believe they did this after going down. What was that? 8-0 in the second half. They've now got 6 rounds in a row. Pretty remarkable. But remember, we discussed this, or at least suggested, sometimes getting it this close and then losing can be the worst way to do it. And instead of just taking the quick loss. So we'll see which way it ends up. NIP now 1 round away from overtime. The full reset here on Cash.
Astralis versus Liquid comes to mind.
Yes, indeed. Been plenty of games on Cash with Heartbreak.
That was on Inferno, mind you, sorry. But nonetheless, just that comeback from Astralis.
Oh, that one,
and
okay,
then,
sorry.
Yeah, in the 3-0 game when Liquid qualified. And Sean made that. Yeah, that was
13-2 in the first half.
Yeah.
And then they come back to overtime and then they win 90-15, yeah.
Yeah. So an op on either side. It's Lekro and Fallen. Let's get right gut. There's got to be, okay, there's a couple guns down. Including that of an auto sniper. I'm not sure if you... Was that not an auto sniper that I saw? I thought there was one in spawn. There is. So they've elected just not to use it. Maybe they'll pick that up for a certain situation. If they rotate back and there's smokes down, they could spam through. But that or they decided against it. It doesn't matter because it's round 30. It's not like they wasted money. Get Right's going to hold toward middle. Smoke in front of him. He has to concede and rotate back off of it. I say he's going to rotate. No, it's not to. He's actually just going to be patient. They don't want to give up mid too easily. Mibr has been fairly decent at getting toward mid. There's no question about that in this game. Fallen. This has within that and makes perfect on it. Fallen gone already. That's off down towards Squeaky. Here comes Fur again, though. He's been so good on highway. Get Right's unaware that he's up that far. He's still watching toward the vents because he heard Terry go that direction. He's forced out. Gets obliterated by him, but Get Right does go after Fur in the end. So still the advantage to him. Forrest left alone on B. Dennis has the bomb. Forrest doesn't have to do much. Just stay alive, stay efficient. They're going to boost back up because they need to get the bomb back from middle, and this is the quickest means of doing so. Cold Zero somehow get Dennis should have had that. He even panicked.
Yeah. Oh, God. Stop challenging him. 20 seconds. Cold Zero, give him an injury in the second half, but luckily Lecro's there to give them a huge advantage at this point. Bomb down, 10 seconds. We're going to overtime. Who would have thought? It took 7 rounds in a row after being 8-0 down in the second half. IP have today is at overtime. That's pretty remarkable. We stay on the same sides. NIP continue their CT campaign. Get Right in regulation got 31 frags. I haven't said that for a couple of years. Good stuff from him.
Yeah, and you said it. Looking more aggressive on actual site takes, playing with confidence, not just lurking and going for the off site. What I mean by that is if they're attacking A, he's at B, and vice versa, and catching kills on rotation, which is something that he certainly made a trademark for a long time. Keep in mind, it's Mirage and Train coming up. Train if required, obviously. No guarantee we get that far. I dare say NIP needs cash in this series. It'll be a fight on all 3 maps.
It will be.
But I think cash is the key.
Well, they've managed to give themselves a chance now. It's looking oh so bleak as a faster play towards middle comes in from MIBR here. The fast boost. Tarek there with the bomb just to know. Not the most intelligent place for it, but might want to throw that away. Still up there for now. All of a sudden, it's given up towards middle. That's exactly what I mean. Well demonstrated, Forrest.
And the bomb fell all the way down, too. They
so
can't even get it by
done
boosting.
that? It's an absolute nightmare. I couldn't even give you a reason why Tarek's got the bomb in that position. That's them not thinking.
That said, they don't keep a lot of pressure on middle, so they'll get that bomb back. But you're right, it does cost them a bit to do so. Smoke to the top of Red Box are behind it, and also the top of Highway now countered suggests to me exactly this, that they want to actually use Highway to open up the A site somewhat. There's no one inside of A main, so it would almost be a pick strategy at this point. But it also confirms to Fur that no one's around the corner and they can retreat safely with that bomb, which they've now done, and they've headed over toward the B site. Rez is going to be waiting behind the box, but Ford's dead again. Tarek won that battle last time. It's Ford's turn instead to go through the vents. He's actually going to smoke himself off, keep himself alive. Molotov Stewie out, and Forrest is able to capitalize on that as a result. So very well designed play, or counterplay, I suppose you could say, in direct response to what was thrown his way. Now they know he doesn't have a smoke this time. The second one surely has. And it will, and Cold does get him. So 3-on-3. Fallen says otherwise and makes it 3-on-2. Dennis down in mid. Fallen's up, finally starting to contribute yet again. 20 kills now in total for him.
Towards B they go. Timing perfect. The spray not quite. Definitely was on for 2 there, but now leaving Lecro in a very difficult situation. We'll have to throw away that all for sure. Finds the M4A4 on the ground. Has got time to try and win this one. It's overtime. Finds a kill on the floor and incendiary. If he goes for the wall bang attempt, there's a chance, but no. Repositioning for puts himself into a safer position here. Incendiary on the side. Actually fallen out, but all the wrong ways possible.
Yeah, timing not there.
Yeah, well there we go. Will be MIBR to find their first round after losing 7 in a row.
Isn't that always the way it goes, though?
Indeed.
Like, teams that have to come back, it's seldom that they win the first round in overtime. And my theory to that is mental reset, one part of it, but also economy reset. Puts you back on a level footing. Now the question is, can NIP respond? Again, remember it is 10K, not 16K overtimes. Meaning that CT Sound precarious position. Financially, as you can see, the is $900 at best for Rez. There it is. Thank you, production. But Rez has the highest amount. It's only 3 digits.
Smokes out. MIBR now might fall back into that execution-based gameplay. It was working very well for them. But coldzera and Fur looking likely to be boosted up here. Can even get 3 up there if you really want to sometimes.
3's a crowd.
It is sometimes, but this is looking like the 8 split where 2 players focus heavily towards that high with the smoke usually landing at the top there by the ticket booth. We'll see if they're that way inclined. Actually, Fur drops down. And this could be another contact plate. Allow Fallen to open things up, then they strike together. Stewie normally alone towards that squeaky door. This round is no different. Necro smoked off, but Flash is starting to be deployed now.
Damn. Tries to work that fence to his advantage, but couldn't do so because it was 2. 2 better than 1. Gets right, but 2 for Lecro and Forrest. coldzera does get 1 back bomb, gets planted. It could be back-to-back rounds, and that money gets brought into question. It's Lecro that wants to start moving closer with the AW. Positioning from Cold, no chance for Rez. Knew the whole time Rez was still alive, and he is the B player. Stewie finds Lecro. It's 17-15. Clean sweep could be on the cards the first half of overtime. You need 19 to win out this game.
They do, and MIBR.
19 in the first overtime. You could get 19 in the second, you know, technicality. Just to...
I feel like Dennis had the right idea there. He looked like he wanted to shut the door and sit in front of it, get aggressive, then just got it towards MBK, which is just a pre-fire. I feel like he was doing very well. Got flashed, had to go back to the compromised position, was looking for one, couldn't find it. It's been a slow game for him. Has got himself up to 14. But 2-0 down, and especially on the CT side map, it's 10k MR3, not 16k like it is in other tournaments. The major is slightly different, meaning we have 3 rounds of play. You start with $10,000. That sounds like a lot, which it is, but if you lose the first round, the second round is certainly compromised, and the third is completely ruined. So MIBR looking, they've got a bit of a gimme here. As you can see, CZ, Steagles, UMPs. There's a conversation to be had about overtimes, whether it should be okay. It's got its flaws as well, certainly not perfect. The best thing to do is just win all the rounds. That's my advice. And you won't have to deal with it.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Kill all the bad guys, win all the rounds.
Yeah, then you won't have a problem.
He's done this all game long. Get Right was ready for it. CZ gets the kill. Have that AK, but yeah, no chance.
No trade flashback pretty weak from Fad, but still, Tara gets the kill and response eventually.
Rez forward of the box. UMP wants it to be close. Remember, he's pushed the smoke, but only once. Fallen was the man to get him down. This time he's not pushing the smoke. He's hoping that they're going to walk to him instead. Pre-scoped. He's cleared off all the other angles, so if he walked any further, I wouldn't be surprised to see Fallen's crosshair snap up to that right side just to be sure. Now he is on top of the box too, so a leg shot wouldn't do in that case. I said that. His angle now suggests otherwise. Gun barrels go easy. Good response from Rez. AWP available. Rez is unfortunately over there by himself at this point with a UMP, so who would possibly pick up that AWP? It would be Lecro, but he's already on the rotation. He's already back to the site. So too Stewie. Good spray down. Gets both of the players in a rotation is all that remains. Rez has swapped over to the AWP. He made that decision late, but Forrest starts the charge. He wants to go in and get the information for the ops. He's one behind quad. Flash get close and close. Nearly close as well on the kill, but not enough. 7 HP left for Stewie.
Not really much Rez can do with this one, Matt. 3-0, pretty much 100% confirmed. Give him 5 seconds. He'll do whatever he can here, but as soon as he fires one shot of the orb, that's when he's vulnerable. That's when you strike, especially when you've got the man advantage. And down he goes. Loser goes out of the tournament. Winner goes through to the SSE Wembley Arena. And it's looking like, at least in the first map, the MIBR have edged it. But there's no reason why NIP can't do the exact same back. We've seen plenty of scenarios where you go 3-0 up on the T side, especially, then it can all fall apart. Let's see what they've got in mind here. Yanko dishing out the orders there. Discussing their options. Now remember, with a 3-round buffer like this map, You might be feeling a little bit saucy, perhaps. Go for the...
I'm always feeling saucy.
The killing blow, perhaps. Go for like a rush on the CT side. Send 3 players towards B story to something surprising. Just the fact you've got a small buffer to work with and see what you can do with it. Like, it's a really exciting place to be as an in-game leader. It's like, I can experiment this first round. I can try and close this out with something quite fascinating. But the T's have actually bought 2 AWPs at the beginning. Now, it was an interesting one.
It's win or bust.
I guess you're probably right at that point. If you do lose a round, it doesn't matter. That was a very good point.
That girl's already out toward A main. No utility at all thrown that direction as of yet.
So Get Right gives himself an AK as well. So he'll hold with the AWP at the very start and then pick up the AK like he has now and then go through his usual fly paths. So smoke in, flashback, wait for the reaction, shoot the window. You talked about that before. Then he'll head towards checkers eventually. Nothing too surprising just yet. There we go, bit of a play.
Solid play at that. Res down again. That gives them control of long. A few rounds. Also pushing forward to get the information. They won't go through this time. They actually fall back on it. Double up setup still in effect. They've already confirmed that Get Right was over toward B, so they knew that they were in their default. That actually might be something that they telegraphed that play off of. They said, all right, if Get Right's over toward B by himself, he's blown out the window, he's thrown the nades, then the other part of their default is that they always have someone in squeaky. So they just say, all right, let's just 2 players push that. That tells us they're in the default setups.
Sure.
It's possible that they reacted strictly off of that.
Especially if you're aware of the tendencies of the other team. You take that player down, you can get a lot of intel, not just from the kill, but yeah, from the setup. All of this. Could have got away with 3-man spray down. He wants to guarantee this round. And still, the job is not done. 3 versus 1. Well, it is now. Stewie will close things out there. It was looking like a very... At one...
Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up. Tonight, we gonna light it up, babe. Tonight, we gonna light it up. Just like the what does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia expectations, they keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. If I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to think, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a, yeah.
Over the edge, feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless. Burning the bridge that keeps us. I'm here and I'm feeling fearless. Exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step, still hanging in.
am who I'm meant to be. I am who I'm meant to be. Over and out again. My future needed clarity, so I could see how you react, how you'd react to me. So much differently, I am different. Every time that I look back, I see my fortune. Would you react to me? We are reacting so much differently. Doubted all that I could do, knowing what I need to do. All I can say, the word is thank you. I think is what you need to push away from the shore, amongst the waves, exactly where I wanna be. I am where I wanna be. Remember the start, when my future needed clarity. Yes, I needed clarity, so I could see how you'd react, how you'd react to me. So much differently, 'cause I am different to you. Every time that I look back, I see my future. Would you react to me? We are reacting so much differently.
Every single game was going on a former range. So it's not of course. It's flipped right down the middle, and we'll see who comes out on top. For now, I have to say, I was so impressed with NIP, especially Get Right. He got 33 frags in, 31 of which were that's been one of the key points.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow.
Different iteration. They were 17-0 at one point on Tramp as well. They had a massive run of success. They're no stranger to it. Fallen's incredibly quick with the off. If Cole gets running around. Fit together.
Speaking of the AWP, it's a bit of a weird discussion to have with NIP, the fact they don't really have a full-time AWP. We saw Reds picking it, Lecro, Forest. Forest primarily on the T side. He actually got the momentum going when he was managed to best Cold Zero in a 1-versus-1, an excellent situation for him. Got NIP fired up, ready to go, but it all leads here. Can MIBR close it out in 2 maps? We will find out as we get into round number 1. They start on the CT side now. There's a diffuse kit for Fallen, a smoke there as well. It's going to be quite a basic approach from NIP. They have 1 smoke, and it's going to be difficult to really justify going towards A. A lot of teams experimenting with faster pace strategies these days and see whether NIP are that way inclined. They have been spotted towards A ramp. Smoke's starting to be deployed, and they are fully committing towards A now.
Stewie just gets absolutely wrecked. I was about to call for him to get at least one shot from that position with his crosshair placement, but a partial flash and then just overrun. Get right doing good work again, fighting forward, but goes down to Tarek. Lekro's following in his footsteps, but gets distracted from inside. Bomb still ticks away, though, in favor of NIP. Fallen has a kit and a smoke. Worth note. On a pistol round. Means he doesn't have armor. And Tarek, with Fur already going down, is left on 1 HP. If he's going to use that smoke, get it on the bomb now. Problem is if he throws it, he's so close to be able to swing. That 1 HP will be enough for now, but smoke down, kit on it. Tarek hopes he could find the kit running in. He just didn't have the life to really make that work.
Certainly didn't. So there it is. NIP with that fast approach there. The single smoke, couple of flashbangs going in, 3 players running and gunning with the Glock. That's what it does oh so well. And here's a prime example brought to you by Mr. Get Right himself. We talk about that burst fire. He gives it another go. Pretty much that could be done. It's Dennis that closes things out there. 1-0 with the force spike coming out from MIBR. 2 scouts as Fallen looks towards middle. Surely they'll be aware of the possibility of him being there, and indeed they will. They'll drop the smoke. He'll fire speculative shots. That one wasn't, though. That's a complete railgun from coldzera from the short area as he takes down Lekro. Lovely shot. I think it's his own medicine, perhaps. Lekro's definitely had a few of those moments in this major so far.
Pretty sick. Rez still gets mid-control by working out from the underpass, and Dennis now already on the catwalk as well, which means that the Deagle won't be able to peek back out. Cold's retreated. No gun available off that either, obviously. The distance of that shot and the sheer number of NIP players on that portion of the map. Tarek, timing, does back away, catches up Rez, works out, nearly gets caught by Get Right, realizes he's there now, and actually tags him up. Oof. This is starting to look menacing. The tags are going to benefit Cold, who finds to get another headshot on Dennis, but he's taken down by Forrest before he could find a shot or a chance to get Right. Still to the man advantage. Stewie picks up a UMP, wants to work back in from catwalk. Molotov's only going to hold them for another 5 seconds beyond now.
Yes, indeed. And Fallen is relentless with the scouts. Get Right's been good so far, but he'll have to fake plan now, and they haven't necessarily taken the bait. Fallen will close things out. It all started with a coldzera headshot. He gets another towards short, and then the scouts just continue to apply the pressure. A smug look on Fallen's face there. He knows how important that round was, and what a shot it was. A couple of them from coldzera. And Fallen, it really has been a calling card of this major in particular, starting right back at the minors, where the scout seemed to have so much impact, more than what we've seen in previous years, especially with the nerf a couple of years ago. That's still surprising to see the scout so relevant in today's game, when it wasn't ever really before in other iterations of Counter-Strike, as we will see a draw once again, 1-1. Force spy from NIP now. No strangers to headshots for these particular weapons themselves. Forrest and Lekro, look out for those guys. Dennis used to be in the conversation for the massive pistol rounds. Haven't seen too many recently. Let's see what he can do here.
Deagle to look toward short. Boost up instead for Dennis. So watching short, they're comfortable in doing so, but Fallen seems to be ready for that. Cold with Tarek to bait him in. So they are quite committed to that B position at the apartments, meaning that there's really no presence on catwalk. Also one of the reasons why Fallen's fallen back so far. But in doing so, he can still swing out and catch off connector. Stewie can get information on that as well. Fallen actually is starting to look toward Palace. He'll realize, oh, didn't he look past them, that they are there. That gives them an M4 and a trade off of Right. Or off of Stewie, excuse me. Means another gun is down, but it's more so a kill because they can't quite get to that gun, more so because Fur is holding that bomb dropped. 29 seconds. If Forrest can find a beautiful shot just like that, they can actually still get the plant off of this, and it's a long rotation. Now, keep in mind there's a flank rotation coming in, and it is coldzera. He's the one that has 100 HP.
This is looking very good for an IP. Forrest going to check the flank as well. This kill might decide it.
Doesn't even face that again.
Oof, my goodness, this is getting tense. Forrest will pretty much confirm the round. There it is, stolen right back. Forrest this time. I did say his Desert Eagle is definitely not to be sneezed at either. It's very, very powerful in certain situations. Even got a brilliant wallbang there towards the shadow position as they bring it in 2-1. Tarek can only sit back and wait at this point. Has to hold on to the UMP. NIP managed to bring 2 AKs out of this and an M4A4. Extra cash. They've already got the armor. That's a great round by them as they look to answer back in this series and take us to a third. Great stuff. Absolutely. I don't think we'll see the force by now from Mibr. They'll have to give in.
Yeah, that's pretty miraculous. This one's great too. This one's huge because it gets the bomb back. I don't even think he spotted his shoulder there. What a round from Forrest. You said it. Deagle started it, AK closes it, reads the flank, doesn't overcommit to the fight either, and 2-1 NIP. So unlike Cash, they managed to pull back momentum in their favor. Still, though, double scout, and rightfully so. Mibr wants to try and hold this off as long as they can, and if they manage to win this, we know what happens. Back and forth games like this, someone suffers mid-half brutally.
Indeed. It's such a gamble. Fully investing again, but they have got the M4, the double scouts, the Cold Zera Deagle, we know how strong that is, and the execution. No default really ran by NIP at the start of this round, Matt, and we discussed that before. You're not really sure you're into the stack if you don't go through the default, as you get no information. It's Lecro who's alone towards middle. 4 players on the A side of the map for Mibr. As NIP waits, will they commit off this? Smokes and flashes start to be deployed. The bomb waiting there on the A ramp, but they're not going in just yet. Still a little bit tentative. They want to get Lecro closer towards that connector first.
Utility, a flash in for Stewie. Timing works out. Stewie gets one. It's res. Bomb dropped temporarily and a second player spotted. They now know there's going to be a commitment onto the A side. That's going to bring the rotation from Tarek and Fur. Inside gets perfection, goes back out, force down. Dennis gets the response. Fur couldn't quite get the second headshot. And Get Right finds him instead. Lecro. Tarek down. That's a big kill. Take out CT stairs, leaves Cold to rotate. It's his Deagle versus 3.
Well, Cold Zera, he's got his work cut out for him, but ever there's a man to pull it off, it would be it. Not this time, though. It's going to be Get Right that finishes things off. I think that was 2 more kills for him. Force 5 from Mibr, not successful. NIP have broken their serve, and that should be the full eco at this point, and presumably the 4-1 scoreline as well.
Bless you.
Thank you. So, not really much in terms of options here for purchases. They're going to have to just stick on the silence USBs, not a single dollar brought into round number 5 here. Our final game of the day, this one. First map was already pretty entertaining. This one's looking good too. Fallen and Tarek make their way towards Palace, trying to steal away anything they can. Just a note, Cold Zera got a last second P250.
I like this position from Tarek. I like it in theory, because it is applied in theory. There's no guarantee that it's going to yield anything or that they'll even go that direction. But it certainly would catch someone off. Meanwhile, it's middle. They'll go for it. The other good thing about Tarek's position isn't just that he's so far forward and has a little wall to play off of that's kind of cheeky inside of Palace. It's also that he's so close to A main that he'd be able to hear anything there as well, which is why they can kind of go with this rotation toward B, stack it up with 4 players. Tarek's actually going to push through and confirm all of that suspicion, having not heard or spotted anyone. No one revealed yet on B either. Back toward Horseshoe. Res has got Tarek pushing. Now, does that... Yeah, okay, it will. It will dictate that they start to look toward connector. Dennis goes in and confirms, all right, yes, they are all here. So the push was for information, obviously. They kill the guy that's flanking them, and they say, okay, good chance they're trying to funnel this. Back the other way, boys.
Indeed. Well, there it is. That should be the round. Stewie, its only responsibility now is to really hold on to the AK-47 for the next round. Lecro looking for any sort of opportunities he can to keep applying the pressure. Remember, they don't really have to chase it. NIP have got more guns to lose than anything they have to gain, really. Silence USPs on 2 of the players, P250. Sure, they've got an AK, but you risking yours for the sake of that, probably not worth it. So let's stick together, make sure the bomb's completely covered, Get Right staying to the last possible moment there, just to be sure. Then he can knife out and be away. Perfectly done. 4 players survive on the CT side, but the AK-47, that will be hunting over to round number 6, so that's big news at least. They didn't get absolutely nothing for the full eco, but Mibr now trailing 4-1. Remember, this is NIP's pick, so looking to take us to train. Wants to play here. 3 players looking towards the A side of the map here, but a timeout called. It's going to be by Mibr. Just going to be discussing their options here. The AWP actually isn't possible. Buying all their grenades, etc. has left them in a pretty compromised position. They might have to take another eco here at this point, or a partial buy at least. CZs for Tarek and Fallen. Coldzera with the PT50 again. Stewie has an AK, so they might as well discuss their options with the setup. We know they're capable of winning these rounds, but what's the key to doing it? People looking very relaxed there.
So it's pistols and the single AK, as you say. He's held that over for Alex to go with the UMP. This is exactly what we were talking about, though. 3 rounds for NIP. They start to really take control of the economy. It's a little bit deeper into the half when they do so, and they've done well here, Mibr, to kind of hedge their bets, if you will, to make sure that they have a buy in the next round. But NIP have a great chance to really extend in this game, early on at least. Dennis and Rez will take their time very carefully. Work in from underpass toward middle. They'll time this in conjunction with the hit on the A site. They're not quite into connector yet, but they want those smokes to bloom. They want players, especially if they're in connector, to be forced out toward them at middle. The fact that they haven't been, it's a bit interesting because that suggests and shows, as we see it, that they're going to play forward of those smokes. Pistols are going to be close toward A main. Dennis, at least boosted, will identify that there's no one toward the stairs. Is it another stack? Or this, the forward pressure? Gotta be wondering. NIP's certainly gonna be wondering where they are at this point. Good Molotov. Fur's gonna be forced to move and actually just burns alive. Dennis gets the kill directly from the bottle as Forrest will take out Stewie. Now it doesn't really matter what the positioning is. They've got the site, they've got the bomb down, 5 players up, and just Tarek and Cold left. Trying to find an AK-47. Coldzera could find a couple of kills here. There's the first. Just time to come his way, and Tarek, he'll meet his demise. Struggling to get through the vent there. Coldzera can't find his second. NIP in the driving seat map. 5-1, plenty of cash. Like you said, though, Mibr being conservative in the previous round to allow them to have the all this time, all the grenades they need. The game really begins here. We've got rid of all the force buy nonsense, and we'll go into round number 7 with everyone fully equipped. Lack of kits, I will say there's only 1 for Stewie. That's it on the CT side. 3 players without helmets, but that's not a big deal when it's only AKs out on the other side. There's a really subtle change that I was thinking about the other day that I almost wish they'd implement and not say anything on Mirage. Obviously, if they did it, people would know. It's that ledge. Okay, hang on. Fallen already getting contested, tagged out, back to the gun rounds, tries to go fast on that op before the smoke. You saw the Molotov as well to try and keep the smoke from bouncing and give him a gap, as Cold now has to rotate off to compensate it. The ledge outside of the vent from the CT side, because we see so many players crawl through that vent, and when you're moving that slowly, you have no chance to retake from it. If that ledge was closer, or if they cut sort of like an angled wall, so you could walk out of the door and bunny hop off the ramp and get through it with speed, like if it was a super skillful mechanic, it would be kind of cool, because you could get through and actually have a fighting chance. I think it's just so limited. I'm not a fan of it. It works both ways, though. Some teams are actually getting to the point where they don't shoot the vent out at all at the beginning of the round, right? So the T's can't even use it. So you can punish in that way. And T's do like to exploit it as well. It's a bit of risk going through that. It's awkward for sure. Yeah, I don't think you change it completely. I just think the skillful aspect of that would be like it plays the exact same unless you have gifted mechanics and get rewarded for that. Yeah. Well, Fallen wasn't rewarded this round. He actually took a bullet through the corner of the wall. You heard his unarmored head splutter as he tried to fall back down to 8 HP. Coldzera. Not sure on the timings here. Not gonna go down just yet, though. Manages to find Dennis, and they're gonna commit towards the Tarek, hiding in the corner here to be protected by Fallen. Now his job begins. Good play from Stewie and Tarek. They've got it all held off as Cold gets in on the equation as well. They do lose Fallen. Do they get to his op? I don't think they're going to. Yes, they do. Okay, just barely. Cold's got it. They'll save a little bit of money as a result of that, and Fallen will have that back in his hands immediately. Important to save that money as well, because this is a 4-round reset. So NIP failed to get the bomb plant down as well, which whittles a little bit further into their money. Still lots of it, though. They'll bring out AKs, and Lekro goes to the up. So it's Lekro that's been picking it up actually more than Forrest as of late. Yeah, that's true.
Like, Forest seems to be like a specialist on some maps with it, and then Lekko will take over responsibilities, but slow peak towards middle against Fallen. Is that the call?
That's ill-advised.
Yeah, like, I'm not really sure what he was hoping to happen, to be honest, but now Fur creeps towards middle.
The late smoke suggests to me that he wanted that.
Yeah.
Because they would have smoked it off immediately if they didn't take that fight. He wanted that pick. He was just way too slow getting there. Maybe he had his timing wrong, wasn't expecting Fallen.
Well, we saw it from Fallen's POV. He literally just crawled around the corner, hope for the best. If you're going to, like, maybe jump around and insta-peek it with the crouch shot, sure, then you've got a fighting chance. But a slow peek like that against Fallen, he's never going to miss that sort of opportunity. And Fur, this is one of his classic moves. And somehow Get Right takes him down. That's sick. Amazing. Yanko gives him a fist bump just as he dies as well, just to say, look, it's fine. You got unlucky. We still have the round. It'll be gutting for him. So good at those sort of flanks. This one doesn't work out for him. Gets the dink at least, so not all for naught. We'll see whether Forest with the AWP now can find the next opening kill.
So Dennis, waiting at the apartment's position on B, does have to be very cautious of his approach given the position of Cold Zero. Meanwhile, Get Right wants to make contact on A so as to convince them that they are going to be on the A site. The two on B start to attack. Fallen gets Get Right down, which means no panic. No rotation, or at least not off of B. There certainly is one now heading toward it because Cold finds the kill. Tarek never even had to move for the bench, and Forrest down now as well.
Well, there we have it. A bit of a classic Get Right sort of lurk there, trying to fake towards the A side. He gets that kill towards CT spawn. There's a chance he pulls a rotation over. His teammates are ready to go at B. That's the pick we were talking about at the start. Fallen never really too challenged at that point, and Fallen to hit the really important shot to Get Right. Cold Zero got the information early that they were coming towards B by jumping up. Gets the kill. Clean round, and the final buy here for NIP in terms of the money. Looking like a fast A approach. There's some flashes going in. Deep breath. 4 people going for the choke point. Through the blades. Look at the being done. Oh my god!
They just literally roasted. It was 2 Molotovs that did all of the damage as they push through, and Fur and Fallen are going to capitalize on it. Cold rotates in. Rez only managing 1 kill. This is a comeback now from MIBR. 3 straight rounds, and effective in this one. Pretty sick. I didn't see if there was a flash thrown on top of it. I didn't see if they were blind. I was watching the HUD, or whether it was just the smoke, but they just sat on the flames.
There was like 200 damage done by incendiaries. That's so sick. My god. They read that like a book. Not a very good one. As we'll get into the first eco, I guess, since the gun rounds began for NIP. They're going to have a partial buy of sorts. Actually, I call this an eco of only 1 set of armor. Deagle, speed of 50s, 3 CZs, and once again, Fur wants a slice of the action. This time, he's joined by Cold Zero and Fallen at the window.
Getting the first Fur with his attention toward underpass. That's awkward.
Dennis couldn't get the shot off.
Couldn't at all. It was pistol versus pistol toward the end of that fight, but Fur was able to turn around, didn't want to get flashed from the top, and then they absolutely eviscerate everybody inside of mid. Now, keep in mind, Fallen's gone down a number of times in these situations. I think he's died the most on... Yeah, he has. He has died the most on MIBR. The reason I bring that up is because reinvestment is required. He is the opper, but fortunately his teammates are so wealthy that they just keep throwing him that gun.
Get Right top fragging again, 7. Oh, I take it back. 7 and 8 for him is actually Forrest, who's second in points, and 8 and 7. He's had some great rounds, so fair play. Good to see the old guard at the very top. The last of the core. So another timeout here, and NIP enough money to bounce back this time. They've lost 4 rounds in a row, though. They are on the T side. To be expected. What's the change of pace? AKs across the board. We'll get into the next round. Here we go. Smoke going in. Camera flashes towards A. The smoke missed the window completely. So Fallen and Fur going to town here. Ooh. And Fallen actually getting blind and doesn't hit the shot. Takes a bit of damage for it.
No, the smoke did actually make it.
It made it in?
Yeah, it did make it. It's right there.
Fair play.
I thought the same thing. I thought it bounced off the ledge below, which would have been interesting to me because it would have left the Molotov burning, and therefore he couldn't actually swing wide if they got to the box. But they redress it, they throw another one. The interesting thing about that is you're always going to re-smoke it, so not only do you give yourself a chance to get the opening shot, but you actually take more utility away because they have to use another smoke just to do that. Valuable smokes are being into the sights and Mirage as well. Cole, Firebox swings out, Get right down. Great headshot as well through the pillar as he catches out Dennis Forrest. At least into connector. 1 on 2 from his perspective towards CT, and Lekro late to arrive gets taken down by Tarek as well.
That's great. coldzera is so calm in those situations. One misstepped position or a shot there doesn't quite connect, he's done for, but nails it. You can see the techniques used as well. CSGO, you can crouch and spray. That's exactly what he's doing there. You get full accuracy if you're crouching and moving. Obviously, not while running or even by walking, but crouching, that's fair game. So use that technique and exploit it, and he did a great job there.
The interesting thing about that Molotov as well is it seems so ingenious. And yet people used to like try and body block it. They would try and like get in the way of it. They would rely on people missing it or jump forward of it. And then someone just one day went, why don't I just put a Molotov there? And then everyone went, right, why don't I do that? Yes. 9. Okay, fair enough.
2 will do.
More MP bots for him, please.
2 will do, though. Doesn't give too much away, but Tarek certainly does. coldzera is there to pick up the pieces. 1 closer than I thought it would be, to be fair. coldzera looking like he's getting in the zone. He wants to close this out in 2. So 7-5 after a difficult start. This is exactly the same as what happened in the first map again. One team gets a massive lead, then there's a halt, and all of a sudden it slips away. Finished 8-7 in the first half. I dare say that will happen again.
It's getting close. It's certainly looking like it.
coldzera currently sits on 14 kills and 5 deaths. But at the very, very top of the scoreboard, just doing a great job, looking deadly.
Fur is going to go again. Right. Missed me once, shame on me. The shot twice. I don't know what rhymes anymore, but that's fine. He's got res.
Well,
you know where I was going with it.
I think everyone didn't quite stick the landing, but Dennis has. That's going to be a very pivotal frag here to bring it back to a 4-4. AWP looking towards the connector. Fallen one down, Tarek. Thought he's going to pull the trigger there. He does in the end, but doesn't connect the shot. 4 players from NIP on the A side. Bomb being planted. A really difficult retake about to be started here for Mibr.
So Molotovs in a crisscross fashion thrown towards CT spawn end inside of jungle. There's really not an access point for the moment. This temporary moments in time they have now extinguished. And a 4-4 on retake. Bombs been ticking for about 12 seconds. MIBR's got money in their favor. Any kill they get is massive because it's a reset for NIP as we get into the later stage of this half, but they're not going to get any kills. He just waits. Okay, fair enough. Gets one now, but he certainly had no contest in the round at that point.
I thought the multiple spray downs coming in for us, trying to get the AWP out of there in time. Just about gets away with it. 30 points of health as the bomb explodes. Decent round there from NIP. Good ace split coming in, challenging Fur towards the underpass. He got the first kill, but then it was too late. They used that intel to realize the Fur normally plays around the connector. Let's get in there. Up they go, and they managed to swarm the bomb site, take it down, and it will be now Dennis with the AWP. It is bizarre that it changes hands so many times, but he has got the best spawn, so that's the reason he takes this round. coldzera punishes him again. Oh my god, I thought Fallen had that one as well, but Lekro managing to take him down in tandem with Forrest. coldzera brave, and it does not fortune him this time. It is actually going to be him burning to a crisp there, standing in them, wanted to get the pick. It took a little bit too much damage. 4 versus 3, Tarek, Fur, and Stewie. The latter has the AWP. We'll see whether he can find the next pick. He's currently watching the window for the boost. Tarek alone in the B site, and Fur holding the steps.
Toward the apartments again for NIP. 54 seconds of which they can play with this. Stewie's bringing the AWP back over in this direction, though. That's promising for MIBR because if he can get a few picks on the way through, it's certainly going... Oh, that's too easy. Lands perfectly in his crosshair rather than jumping by it. It's going to certainly benefit the defensive side. They've lost the rifle in Tarek, but Stewie, wow, that was super stunning from Lekro because he was ready for that as well, and even still Lekro got the shot to take down the AWPer. Bomb planted, 7-7 looking very likely.
Well, 8-7 confirmed.
Yeah,
there we go. It split right down the middle again.
Confirmed, sorry.
Well, that means 8-7's confirmed as well.
All right, fair enough. All right, I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
I was trying to bail you out. You're going to double down. I see how it is.
No, I'm just saying earlier we said it's going to be an 8-7.5, you know.
True.
And it will be fur to save the M4. It's going to help out as well. So he's got a decent amount of cash, and he'll get a little bit extra. But if he saves the M4, he can drop one, maybe drop another M4 and a UMP. It might be required. And there we go. It will be NIP to find their 7th. 3 players will survive. Which did an amazing job. The pre-fires on the bomb side there. Looked like Stewie had his number, had the lineup, but completely taken down. There he is in his screen right there. The in-game leader. Inexperienced in-game leader as well. This was Coldzera trying to dance around the flames as he is taken down in the end. Forrest and Lecro getting it done towards that B site. Nice work. So Fur will drop a weapon. Well, he's actually not too bad, all things considered. The fact he could drop was a massive help.
So Fur gets toward A early. They throw out the utility, rather. I think it was a Molotov toward A early, but they're going to get aggressive on the MIBR side. Speaking of Molotovs or incendiaries, if you want to be technical. Another one thrown out toward the kitchen. That'll slow down the take from NIP on the B apartment side. They have been changing the pace a little bit. Chad brought it up from the cash game as well, and it seems they're going to go for more pace again this time. Spotted as they are. As a pinch play with Coldzera, but they saw him before the smoke bloom. Tarek still manages 2. They get the trades, and trades will certainly benefit them. So too, the utilities they managed to save. No vision for Fur. That bomb is still down, however. They need to get to that and get it planted before that utility is completely gone. Use that time available to them. So Stewie catwalk, that view is good because you could see the X-ray as well, and 2 toward checkers, that being Fur and Fallen. Stew's going to smoke himself a little bit further up. Versus Lecro. He might have had an angle that forces him down to the van. Perhaps it was better off to leave him where he was because he finds Fallen, and it's on to Stewie. That's brilliant from him. Steps back out, knew that smoke came from that direction. 8-7 confirmed, Henry.
It is confirmed now. There it is. Forrest finishes the half on 15 kills. It was Get Right that was going huge on cash. This time it's Forrest who's leading the charge. There we go. Great first half again. Back and forth. NIP looked like they were going to be out of it once again after going up 5-1. They're losing 6 rounds in a row, but then managed to close it out with 3 of their own. That's what we like to see. Teams tested, sweating right down to the final round. As remember, there's only 1 spot left in the playoffs in the Wembley Arena here at the Faceit London Major. Will it be NIP or will it be MIBR, who already have 1 map under their belts? An epic cash affair that went to overtime, of course. Now finding ourselves on what could be the final map, but NIP have the lead for now. 8-7 in their favour. They switch over to arguably the easier side of the 2, as they will now play as the counter-terrorists. 5 sets of armour for them, no utility, no defuse kits, and looking like a much more technical approach from MIBR. I've got 2 smokes, Molotov, flashbangs and decoys. No upgraded pistols, but 2 players of our armour. It is going to be, by the looks of things, maybe a little A fake here from Fallen, as they set up for a B split. The bombs in the B apartments. Dennis to challenge here. He used to say so much. He's the absolute master of the USP. Haven't really seen it this game, at least, as he'll be taken down to 21 points of health. Didn't really inflict too much himself.
In many ways, it's Colt versus Forrest so far. Speaking of, down goes Fur. Rez gets a secondary kill for NIP. That one's significant as well. It's Stewie down. Cold manages 1 back, though. Mid, gain to gain. Bomb is at the bench, which means they have to commit to the A site. That much is clear. Micro holding off the back side of the vent as well. That'll lock them out of any rotation chances of sneaking in towards CT and clearing out the CT stairs from that chance, or that perspective. So they have to go from jungle. They've got to straight brawl it. Get Right's up to that. So the first kill takes out Cold. Rez catches out Fallen, who was way back toward the stairs. Pretty straightforward once that bomb was down and Lecro was holding the backside. 9-7.
9-7. A fast approach there from MIBR. Like I said, a very technical one that didn't really work out for them. Here's Forrest playing it perfectly from that CPL room, looking from the vent for the players. Boost up from the window, catches them red-handed. Rez and Get Right getting it done to finish things off. 4 players survive for NIP. Always going to be very beneficial. Keep your armor. Bring it over to the next round. MIBR with the force spine response. No bomb planted there. They managed to steal away this round in the first half, but then it was answered back. It was MIBR that went 5-1 down after losing the pistol. Rez will get the first kill. That's Fur dropped. Fur often dies in situations where it can't be traded. That's sometimes the best and worst thing about him. When it works out, you feel, wow, that's amazing. He's made an individual play that really has got him a great pick, or even two of them, but sometimes he'll go down with nothing. There was no potential for his teammates to help him out. But that's what he does best. Anyway, 5 versus 4. The Eagles looking a little bit out of it. They got one smoke, a few flashbangs, and Stewie making his way towards that connector where Rez resides.
Forrest, if he was a step further, would know well, now he does. Would know that he's there. Gun barrel shows, gets another chance to fire out toward Key, and does that to good effect. It's Cold Zero. Fallen, meanwhile, with the scout, is blind, standing by fire, and then killed by firing squad of Dennis, and pretty much him alone. There was no one else that had the angles. Doesn't really work, Henry, but I thought I'd try it. Tarek's going to fall back.
15 HP. No money. Full eco. Next round, Tarek's going to be going down here, looking for a consolation kill here. Not going to happen. Bomb goes down. Round is over. 10-7. $2,000 per player on MIBR. No bomb planted in either of those rounds. If you could lose that round, if you get the bomb planted at least, it's okay, because you recover. But if you get nothing out of the pistol or that, you really are in a bit of trouble now. In the next round, you're going to get $2,400, which means 4.4k per player on the T side. So not enough for the AWP at all. Not enough for the full array of utility. Sure, it's enough for an okay buy, but still, it's not ideal. You really want to be getting the bomb down in those 4 spies at least. But for masses, M4, an absolute gimme of a round here for NIP. 11-7, pretty much locked in. Nothing purchased in round number 18 here for the Brazilian/North American squad.
Wasn't really as intended by Rez. I think he wanted that to go a little deeper, but it hit the wire pipe. Dennis on the balcony. Wasn't quite close enough to capitalize on that flash. I thought he might try and push through, but elects not to, and rightfully so. They've got the economic advantage. There's no need to give away a UMP to Fallen. Second flash, still doesn't want to go. The fact that he's not on 2 flashes could also lure Fallen out from his dwelling. It's Fur and Stewie that go to the other house. Just above them in the ladder room is Forrest, so the minimap somewhat confusing in that sense. He doesn't have vision on them, but from Connector they did. It was Rez. Tarek might soon be spotted when those smokes start to dissipate. I think he may be spotted when he walks in as well, because his feet would show at the bottom, I think, of that second smoke. That is, of course, if Forrest had stayed there.
Like we always discussed, MIBR using this time to chat about the next round, bait out as much utility as they can, and hopefully get a couple of kills from some impatience here of the CTs. They're going to try and have all their firepower towards Palace, try and trade out a kill. Pretty decent weapon to shut this one down.
Oh, good thing he had a little bit of help there from Rez, to be honest. He ran out of ammo trying to spray rather awkwardly, and Dennis will go down. Again, that's just to point out, Nick win the round, but it's another situation where Dennis's accuracy lets him down.
Yeah, he really isn't looking too sharp. Not his day. Happens to the best of them. But you can see him trying to warm the hands up there.
They've got a box of hand warmers if he needs them.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone to help him out. 11-7. MIBR, like I said, they have 4,400 per player, so they can't get the AWP out. They do not have all the utility, but it's okay. It's enough for a buy. It's not really much to talk about.
Well, now we'll talk about how hot Dennis's hands really are, because he's going to be getting off this time. So NIP again showing that they're willing to put different people on different positions. Cold absolutely destroys Get Right, who thought he was clever getting there that quickly with a deep smoke.
Yeah.
But the noise just gave it away.
Take a seat, Get Right. Oh, there it is, an early 5-on-4. The incendiary designed to isolate players in that corner, and Get Right got more than he bargained for that. Bit of a bonus situation from NIP with the carried over for masses here, but Dennis has got the AWP now. It might be on the comeback, waiting for any sort of reaction. Normally you use a kill or lose a kill on Mirage. Reactions need to come out on the CT side. You have a push towards middle. Go towards the B apartments to see if you can find someone in their default. This is where Rez, his reaction. If he gets away now, it'd be great. Unfortunately, the trade doesn't help him out. Going for the double kill might have been his only option, to be fair. I'm not sure he would have got away. 4 versus 3, Fallen knows. They've got a huge advantage here. There's potentially only one player here, but it is. It's Dennis. He needs to show us that accuracy. That's much better, but at the same time, his teammate did go down. Needs to find another shot here.
Smoke actually hits him.
Oh, Dennis, come on.
This is... All right, now I'm starting to actually get concerned.
So that's just a really bad miss.
And that could be round defining because he's just giving them so much room inside of the site. The bomb's going to go down. Dennis, like I say, if you see some inaccuracies sometimes, usually throughout a course of a best of 3, a skilled player is going to find his aim again. It's going to come back to him, but this is starting to drag on now. And bomb down, his teammate gone. This could have been a 2-on-1 the other way and round over in favor of NIP. He now has to pull it back, scoping in that close as well. All too easy. Fur knows exactly where he is.
That missed shot. That was everything. That was a kill on a plate for him. Player of his caliber should have no problem. He was barely moving either. As coldzera, this is the opening kill. That was beautiful. He's not missing much today. Stewie in the 1 versus 1 of Rez manages to secure the round. Almost there. coldzera, of course, through the smoke. 11-8. Auto shotgun for Get Right. Okay, unorthodox, but I'll allow it. I've only ever seen this on Nuke, to be fair. I haven't seen what he can do with it on Mirage. I will hold judgment until I see what his plan is.
Palace doesn't surprise me. I would have thought he was actually going to be on top of the balcony, closer, but second he looks there, thankfully he looks back because that's the second they go through. He only manages 1. Fair play, he's got to get up close. That works as well, I suppose. I expect them to be a little more aggressive on Palace. Either way, Stewie, Galil gets the underpass position at least cleared out. They haven't taken any advantage of it yet, and they have not taken any advantage of the fact that they could potentially take mid. As Forest subsides, it's Lycro that is going to have company. Put on for afternoon tea, Henry. We're in London after all.
Indeed. A bit of Earl Grey. Why not?
I'm into it.
Okay, 1 minute remaining, and then Mibr have Lycro isolated in the bomb site here. He'll get one. The trade is very likely. He'll do well to get 2 out of this one. Stewie takes him down in the end, but still Forest with a fighting chance here. Great accuracy there with the M4A1S. 2 versus 3. And NIP's favored, but Fallen's got the AWP, and he doesn't miss many shots as he'll take down Forest. It's now Rez and Dennis with no utility, no defuse kits, just those 2 M4s. Still a fighting chance here. But Dennis needs to put his best foot forward.
Already in the site is Dennis, and unfortunately that was sorted by Tarek, who swings back out. Mibr looking for their 9th round. It's Rez to clutch it back. He's snuck into the same position spot. Mibr can't hit the shot either. He does try a second time, and Fallen still gets away, but he knows he's in the site and he knows he's tagged this time. Has to get the wrong side of Fallen, and he does, but Fallen still turns in time.
That's insane. How does he always pull those shots off? Oh, he was low as well. I thought Rez had done enough there. Great effort by the young Swede, but not quite enough to take down the old dog. Fallen absolutely destroys him in the end there. What a brilliant round by him. That's Tarek taking down Dennis, and then Rez. Great play to even get into this position, but of course Fallen takes him down. That's so unbelievably good by him. Can't stress enough how difficult that is, with so much on the line as well. Eco now for an IP. Back and forth we go.
You go to Dennis's missed shot. You go to that incredible shot from Fallen. And it's a whole different game just like that.
Indeed, that's a very good point. That missed shot, that one missed kill could be one of the defining factors of the game here. P250, Deagle, silence USPs, no armor, no nades. They've already got the opening kill. You want to execute fully still. You don't just want to walk into the sites and try and save the money. These top teams are so deadly with the pistols themselves. You've got to eradicate risks. You've got to flush them out. Take away vision still. Even though you have the AKs, you can't risk it. And I'll line up smokes and just wait patiently. Tarek might be in trouble here with Get Right in the corner. Luckily, when he got that USP. Getting flashed by his own team, but it's fine.
Fine. Had Get Right known that he was flashed, he might have peeked on it. But as opposed to from his teammate, he didn't know where it landed. Doesn't even matter. You get the headshot. Watch out, because he might get another. Stewie was taking his sweet time taking down Rez. That gave Get Right a sniff at it, but he's got his deodorant on. Not much to smell, Henry. Just beautiful roses for Mibr.
Beautiful roses.
Does that really smell like
Is that the scent you go for?
I just wear whatever's cheap.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a lie, because I usually forget it, go through the airport, go to the little duty-free stand, and it's like $30 for a stick of deodorant, because they know they've got you.
Exactly.
They know you don't want to stink on the plane, and they're like, we're gonna wreck this guy's wallet.
That's a very good point. The ecosystem of airports in general is a little bit messed up. Anyway, Fur, he's got the best spawn you could probably ask for here. Is he going to try and take it? What weapon has he got? He actually has the AK, so probably not. Fallen will overtake him. They'll go into another default here. Money's still a little bit tight for NIP. No all for them. Only one kit. Bare bones utility. Coldzera has mid control. No damage inflicted on either side just yet. But Forest, he ain't done in this series just yet. He's proven he can still commit some unspeakable things on the server. So good with that M4A1S, one of the few players still using it. Dennis is as well, just a note.
So Fur re-smokes the connector position. That tells Dennis that he's there. There's no question. He knows exactly where that smoke came from. And this time, Dennis makes no mistake. He'll take down Fur with dead accuracy. So it's on a cold to try and keep middle, and the fact that they've got Rez also with Dennis means that they can very, very happily control that connector side. Forest as well in ladder. This is a passive aggressive, if you want to call it that, stance at controlling the MIB, and it's going to pay off. Finally, MIBR is going to get shut down completely in mid. 3 players down, no trades. Get right on 16. Dennis on 19. Doesn't matter. Job done. All they have is one approach left. That's A main, and NIP's certainly aware of it. He's fallen. All on Tarek. They know he's in sandwich. He's already fired a few shots. Perfect trade.
Convincing round there from NIP, much better. Dennis with 2, picking up his confidence now, as Rez also with 2 frags there to close things out. 12-10, still anyone's game here. If you are just joining us, it's the final best of 3, the final game in general of this sector of the major. We're looking for one more team to make it to the Wembley Arena for the finals beginning on Thursday. It's going to be absolutely electric. Already got 2 UK players booked in there. If you're in London or nearby, get your tickets. There are a few available, I think, so check them out. Come down. It's going to be an absolutely amazing affair. You do not want to miss it. Either way, round 23, AK's out. It's actually a bit of a force fight here. MIBR, after winning 3 rounds in a row, they're actually a little bit broken here. 3 AKs, 1 UMP.
If you are coming down and you forget your deodorant, I've got a lot that I can sell you for $30.
$30 a stick.
Yeah, because it's important in a group of people. You never know, you might be sat next to someone really beautiful and you don't want to smell bad. So put your deodorant on.
Well, you are right now, so...
What, wearing deodorant or sitting next to someone beautiful, Henry?
The second one, obviously.
Oh, okay, all right.
AK making their way forward. It will be fair as Forest goes down to the AWP this time, trying to bait in Lecro, and it's effective. He'll get the shots as Dennis will do his best with the M4. Is still on the line this round.
Desperate Dennis to hope that they would walk out as he pre-fired that angle, seeing their gun barrels cold. Never did, and he stays alive to get Lecro, but Get Right's on the flank, catches him out from behind. Fallen, good headshot on Rez. This gives him a chance. 1 versus 2, he can still isolate the angles. Would love to have that AWP, I'm sure, because it is Fallen, even though it's close range. He's so good with the weapon. Now he knows. One's on Cat, one's up close. Tries to face the long shot to Cat, strictly to bait Dennis out, but played to perfection. He never overcommits, never gives Fallen that chance, and Get Right eventually closes down the angle. It's 13 for an IP.
Absolutely. Looking very good now for the Ninjas. 2 very convincing rounds of money's completely broken for MIBR. Lost bonus at second stage, meaning $1,900 per player. No bomb plants in the last 2, so they're going to have to take pretty much full eco here. We've seen them taken before. They are quite slow paced. They like to feel the round out and discuss their options for the next. Feels like NIP might have done enough here to take us to a third. Time will tell. It's never over until you get to 16. I've learned that many times throughout the process of this tournament. We're at 30 plus overtimes since the challenger stage. Or the new challenger stage, I should say. PT50, not going to be too troublesome for Lecro here. He knows that can afford to challenge this.
You did say this was NIP's map choice, so overtime on Cash is not bad against MIBR on their own respective choice. It is formerly a good NIP map, though, or excuse me, SK, I guess you could say, in that sense, but MIBR map.
Yeah, definitely capable of playing it.
Fallen waiting down the deagle if Rez gets careless, and is, and fires without knowing that he's there. Easy deagle shot. Thankfully, Dennis is able to swing perfectly, so it's not to allow that threat to go any further. Precision from Forrest is enough to spot inside of connector, but hugging the right wall. For was able to get away temporarily. He goes back down, and Forrest is getting closer. Get right takes Stewie. Round looking to go NIP. Could be the 14th. Will be the 14th.
Definitely will. Nice shot from Fallen. Good positioning to get there, but it's looking like NIP might be able to take us to a third here. Backs to the wall for MIBR, but they're never out of it. They're one of the most tenacious teams we have in all of CSGO. Responsible for some of the most devastating comebacks of all time. You look back at previous majors, they've done it many, many times before. They've still got a map in the bag if required, so they'll still be calm, collected. They've got about $4,500 per player right now, just working out their options. They can buy the AWP if they really want to, with Glass Cannon or Fallen. Might not want to do that. This is another pause for them. They've got 2 remaining now. Third stage loss bonus. Starting to buy up into it. NIP missed out on the last 2 majors. It's been a while since we've seen them in the playoffs. Getting a bit closer now. A couple more rounds to take them to the third.
Smoke to the window, no flames for Forrest, but body blocks it. It hits him, though. Was he intending to drop down or jump?
No, he was to jump.
Yeah, so he gets blocked. Good spot from Rez. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
It goes both ways, but Forrest still comes out as the unfortunate loser in the situation because he didn't get the position. Doesn't seem to matter. He still got Fallen. Get right again. Holds off on Tarek. It looks as though map point achieved. 5 versus 1 for coldzera.
Yeah, I think he might be right there. He's good, but this seems like it could be a bit of a reach. From NIP, even after missing the jump. coldzera will do what he can here. Baits out a couple more. They don't have to challenge him. I'm sure they're all shouting now. Just play it cool. No one has to overcommit here, just in case. And all of a sudden, if he gets one more kill, 1v3 seems possible.
Yeah, as long as he gets it cleanly. He's going to need some HP to go against that many players. He's got 70 right now. Another chance for a one-on-one shot. Missed because Rez was backed off too soon. He is suddenly aware that he's not spotted 4. So where could the 4th be? Well, it's not on the flank as of yet. It is watching that direction in case Cold gets clever and wants to go back the other direction. But I think this AK is going to be all too valuable at this point. He knows the situation, so no more aggression. He'll sit back, and it's 15 for NIP to force the train. That's map 3.
I think he might be done for him. He'll be holding on towards T-Spawn. He might just have to hold on to the AK because they haven't really got that much to work with. In terms of loss bonus, that's going to be a 4th stage next round. He does find another kill. 10 seconds remaining. Looks like he will just save the AK.
It's pretty much the saving grace for them in the next round. Round 26 as it will be. NIP 1 to go. And again, we said it's Train that comes up next. NIP's no slouch on it. I think it is a good 3rd map between these 2 teams based on the map pool and based on the maps that have already been played. But at the same time, MIBR's history on it, although not with this roster, is extremely successful. And Fallen has been showing signs of quickness on that AWP, which is a map that favors that incredibly.
The AK's brought over. Pistols, MAC-10s, SMGs. 4 rounds, make it 5 actually from MIBR required for overtime. Doesn't seem likely with this current buy. We'll see what they can do here. There's been some ridiculous comebacks in this event so far. They commit towards A, with a bit of a shooting gallery. Does some damage, finally commits to the kill. It's going to be Dennis to start mowing them down as well. Looking very good for an IP, but coldzera keeping the dream alive somewhat. What a shot that is from Tarek to take down Rez and the AWP. Tarek and coldzera are very low, but there's still a fighting chance here. Maybe not so much now. 3 versus 2.
Micro stairs, no one peeking out from Palace. Bomb still down, and Micro will get Tarek when he returns from that doorway. Fallen left in a 1 versus 3 with the op. Couldn't figure out where to fire. Did get right, actually. Excuse me. I thought he decided between the 2 and missed both, but got 1. That's not enough. 16-10 NIP force out map 3. That just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, absolutely. Great game there for an IP. Bouncing back, they managed to take the previous one to overtime, and now making the 2nd map theirs. It was their pick. We go on to Train next. Forrest there leading the charge, looking very good indeed, I have to say. Get right with another good performance, 22 frags to his name. coldzera with 24. He was looking lights out at points.
take it slow. Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up. Tonight, we gonna light it up, babe. Tonight, we gonna light it up. Just like the sunrise, we gonna light it up. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up. Tonight, we gonna light
too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down. My poor minute and pretend. Honey,
our last series before we go to the SEC arena. When we get to the top 8 of what started as 24 through the Challengers and now the Legends. And it's 2 Legends going at it in the server NIP versus MIBR. And interestingly, we go to a third map with NIP looking relatively more convincing throughout the course of the series, you could say, certainly on Mirage.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, your last chance to get your Counter-Strike fix before Thursday. It's the final map of this section of the major. Who will be taking it? I'm not sure. Train is being dominant force for the longest time on that map, but they certainly dropped off. NIP can play it as well. They've had some great victories on it in the past, but I would say it's an inconsistent map for them. It's not their home map per se, and I'm excited to see which way this one goes. We've got some of the big names from NIP turning up, especially Get Right and Forest. Good to see that.
Yeah, that's a legendary combo, certainly. The old guard of NIP, the original lineup. Excellent, you're right. Forrest has been rotating on and off of the AWP. I think when he's had it, he's looked pretty solid.
Yeah.
But Lekro being mostly in that secondary, the one we have to continue to harp on if you're just joining is Dennis hasn't had the best series as of yet. And I think that is something that you can't, for 3 maps, eventually that's going to catch you out.
And it's not
nearly the last game.
It's the reason we pointed out is because we expect so much of him now. He's the star player of this squad, right? If he was playing a more suppressed role, we'd say that's as usual, but he normally is very, very good. And now he's at the pressure of the in-game leader responsibility removed. That's why we're talking about it a bit much. It's not like he's playing super bad or anything. It's just like we expect a bit more. So it's been a definitely interesting series so far. I have to say Colt's looking amazing. Yeah. He could be a catalyst here for the MIBR victory as we get ready for the final map.
I'm gonna say that absolutely on this map, Cold could, but I think the more essential ingredient, I guess the cornerstone of it, is going to be Fallen's op.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if they double up with Cold, that certainly comes into it as well, but they have to have the consistency from Fallen.
Everyone's saying Fallen is back. I've been convinced so far in the last few games. Let's see if he can finish things off in style here. I would say for that orb factor, I'm going to edge it slightly towards MIBR, but it should be an amazing game here. I'm really looking forward to this final one. Let's have a look at it then, shall we? It will be a CT star for NIP. Definitely an advantage, I would say. As they go for a fast outside approach here. Smokes it down. Stewie and Coldzera looking to get as close as they possibly can to the bomb train.
Flames at Stewie's feet. He won't go beyond so as to step into them any further. To take a bit of damage, just one tick. Smoke behind him will conceal him for a little bit longer away from Dennis, meaning the bomb goes down. He now protects his teammates, swing out, swats the player a ticket. That's Rez. He's forced off of it, but he didn't see Lekro. Lekro gets damage. It's damage, but no kills until now. Rez and Lekro finally stepping up to take down 2. Tarek's been quiet for all the defuse. Kid on it as well. Get lights on it in the smoke, and Lekro's going to defend him. Bomb defuse. It's done, and NIP with the round.
Scary moment there. The 4 defuser, 2 terrorists alive, but the smoke was down. It's another pistol for NIP. They've actually took the lion's share of the pistol rounds here. It's been down to the 4 spies of MIBR. They've got them back into games, but NIP with another good start here. It's Reds, boost up initially, and then starts plucking heads, and Lekro joins in. Bomb planted though. That's good news, at least for MIBR. They haven't got the bomb down consistently, and all of these T-sided pistols. We'll see whether these PT-50s and Glocks, one flashbang will yield an inside plant. That's usually where most teams will head. And to be fair, Get Right playing so far back, I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of that. He's currently right at the back of the hitch of the inside bomb site. That actually almost allows him to plant, but he has got some backup now from Lekro, so that's going to be a little bit more beneficial for them going forward. There we go. Going towards upper for a 1 flash in. Human shield around the bomb planter, which is Stewie. Look out for him. This is all in vain. Good flashbang actually gets him closer to the side. On here, that's great. Very good news for MIBR.
Kept right. Gets one on further on Fallen. Dennis catches out Stewie through the wall as they retreat at the ramp. It's Tarek and Coldzera that are going to rotate over. The bomb planted again. You're right. It's very good. It's awesome. It's great. The economy, but it's going to be an IP to get the round once more as they get on the defuse. Rez to stay up and alive. So too with Lekro. But here comes a buy, certainly.
A massive buy. They can bring the AWP out here if they want to. I'm not sure they will, but it's certainly available. They wanted to do it. 2 bomb plants in a row, and NIP know it. So they'll try and boost their chances, upgrading everyone to rifles here. Fallen doesn't go for the AWP. He'll stick it to the AK like the rest of his team. A nice healthy buy though, all the grenades. Everyone's fully equipped. An early gun round here. splitting the first two maps down the middle. Both of them ending at 8-7 halves. Get right. Close towards that inside ramp, and here's Dennis. He'll be given the responsibility of patrolling the Ivy area. Rez actually gets in towards main entrance very early. Great real estate on the map to take so early on in the round.
Very solid position. MIBR forced back off of it. Smoke down as well. Aggro just flirting with that in the M4. It's solo B, and a very passive solo B. Just get right. Usually you see that when you get the corner, or if you're comfortably positioned in ramp. Sometimes you'll play it closer to the bomb site, so you deny the plant, whereas like this is almost like a retake setup, right? They're trying to get more guys onto A, which allowed them therefore to put 2 toward Ivy early, and the forward stance toward A main. I get it. I get why they're doing it. It's not normally a setup you see from the single player.
And the thing is, it's fine. MIBR would assume it's a normal setup, you know? So they're going to play like usual, and get right very close to the other site if required. But Reds for now. Completely destroyed with that flash. Perfectly done. But so is that Forest on a bit of a rampage here, but upgrades to the AK-47. That costs him his life. And now a 4 versus 3. 35 seconds remain. Fer not wasting any time here. Closer and closer to the site. Can't hit the shot, but Lekro certainly can.
Cole played that so well to stay in. Thought he might get flashed off. Forrest pushed through, didn't see him next to the wall. Here's a man who needs to step up. Dennis trying to swing out, gets to Sandwich. He's going to hold station for now. He's knowing that there's a bomb plant impending. That's when he wants to move. Didn't see it. He does get the planter. Did he see it? Not quite. Tarek gets some response from Hitch. Had he had seen him, he might have gone for Tarek first and then swung to get the planter, but it's Get Right with a chance in it nonetheless based on that single kill. Knows where one player is and anticipates correctly where the second is with some utility. He can hold this. There's a steal, but unfortunately Tarek swings out and checks.
Quite a brave and interesting maneuver there from Get Right. I liked it though. It's one of the most difficult bomb sides to clutch on the CT side when you, especially in a 2 versus 1 like that. Hundreds of different setups the terrorists could deploy at that point. You just got to guess and work out how they're positioned. He gave a very good go. They came down to the 1 second defuse. Tarek had to check it, and unfortunately for Get Right, it all falls apart. They will force into this one though. It's actually pretty decent. You see a couple of compromises made. It's the Scouts of Forest and Rez with the CZ, but there is an all for Lekro. Not up against rival sniper just yet, so this is actually going to be a pretty competitive round. 2-1. MIBR hearing those all bullets fired and quickly silencing them there. Great shot from Stewie. Cold Zera keeps applying the pressure. Now the bomb not going to be planted just yet, but Dennis will do whatever he can to stop them getting any closer. 3 versus 2. Forest at the backlines with the Scouts. They're starting to rotate back towards in and out. Fallen's got the bomb. That should be the round in itself, considering there's no kits available and barely any utility. Might not even be worth going for. I'd say recover the AWP, save the AK as well, and that wouldn't be the worst outcome in the world. There's the AWP for Forest, and he's going to save that towards heaven.
On the yoga mat.
Indeed.
The bright blue yoga mat. So bomb babysat for obvious reasons, and we'll end exactly as we are now with 5 alive, 3-2, and 2-2 on the score as MIBR pulled back. So the early buy beneficial in the last round. Again, they win out this one, but the op saved an AK as well for Dennis. Somewhat useful front IP, certainly useful front IP. I shouldn't say somewhat useful, but more so that they can't really force around it. Even with those 2 players having weapons, they don't have enough to drop themselves for their teammates.
2-2. Back and forth we go. AWP for Forest this time. AK for Dennis. What's the play? I agree. Not really worth forcing into this one. Maybe some P250s for those lesser equipped, but we'll see.
I think Forest's... okay, it's not. I was looking for a spawn. I was thinking if he could get to the corner at B. He's still going to go to ramp, though. So he has to be aggressive with his op, right? He has to try and get an opening pick. If he plays back toward Ivy and identify that it's there, he gives them the rest of the map to play off of. So he wants to try and get here and challenge this early. Unfortunately, didn't really have the corner spawn. Stevie's already gone by. Rez identifies that, spots it, can't do anything about it.
Now, after hearing that AWP at the lower ramp, you might think they just book it towards outside. That would be the case right now, but if waited a while, Forest might be anticipating that as well and stay towards inner. They could change their minds. We'll see. But opening pick, though, it might be up, looking to take the lead here on the T side. It's a very CT-sided map up there with your nukes, your Infernos. Train probably number 2 in the map pool in that sense.
Nukes tend to be very T-sided, you're right.
Yes.
Get right. Play it under the ladder. If he... falls down over the edge, perfect. So it's not a bad position for Get Right to try and hold with. Even with just that USP. No spray through it from Stewie. He walks directly into that AWP. Now they'll go outside. Now they realize, okay, it is still there. Let's get away from it. Cole can't quite collect on Lekro, who swings in, gets on top of the bomb train, still trying to watch Frank coming through Sandwich. He certainly was right in guessing there would be, but Tarek's better with the shot. In fact, he's above on top of the train, and he sees Dennis rotating in from Z-Connector as well. Everyone's down. Forrest's op wants to be saved, but bomb planted. There's tons of time to send someone out in the hunt. In fact, they'll send 2, even if he finds one of these shots. Unlikely. He'll get both. Oh, knife? I don't think they expected him to be... Okay, they actually wanted the knife, and that's... I don't know if I agree with that. Okay. I think that they were running with the knife to get maybe closer at first, and then one of them hit him with a knife, and they went, right, I'll try it too. Let's get a knife. I don't know. I'm confused.
Yanko's not going to be happy with that.
No, that's like the complete antithesis of Yanko's like theory in coaching.
Stop buggering around trying to knife people. Get it done.
I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they didn't think he was going to be that close and ran out without their weapons. So why did they do that in that situation?
No, they definitely shot him with the second guy. He just saw, like you said, they saw he got into a knife fight, and Forrest actually goes down with the bomb there.
I think he did.
Yeah,
he did. Wow, okay. So in some ways that damage pays off.
Yeah, it kind of worked out. Forrest died. Okay, that's a really... I was about to... So, okay, you're right. They were hunting around, but this guy definitely could have shot him, right?
Yeah,
the second
fallen.
But he dies with the bomb anyway, so that's the orb gone. So I guess it's fine.
I mean, I guess.
All that we talked about.
They lose one more gun than they should have.
Yeah. But whether they even realised he went down, I'm sure they did. But it's a weird one. He thought he was in the clear. Didn't work out. Sometimes it can be a little bit misleading. Some maps, it's ridiculous how close you can be to the bomb, like Inferno A site, for example. You sit, look at it from 10 meters away on train. You can be a country mile and still take damage. Yeah, Yanko takes a sit down. Get into the next round. There is a buy for an IP here. Not the greatest, not the worst. An SMG for Get Right. He's also got the kits. They've got the utility they need to win a round, but no luxuries. Orb now for Fallen. Let's see what he can do with this particular weapon. Great sharings on the first 2 maps, Mirage and Cash.
So Stewie gets around the corner. They'll take their time. Get Right. Didn't spot him on the first shoulder peak. Will now smoke. Wants to be defensive, and they want to get aggressive. That's not bad. The second Stewie's toes touch the ground, Get Right's head is removed. Cold Zero puts a bomb in position at default, and what's the call from NIP? They don't have any money in reserve. They have no kits. They really don't have a shot at this, so I imagine it's going to be a very early save call. If Fallen wants to go hunting, he's got to be a little bit careful with that op. If he drops down, Rez is there. They'd love to take an op onto the CT side for free. They are looking. MIBR wants to take a full advantage of the economic situation. Like you say, it is a T-sided map as well, so that's even better off.
Looking to punish any of the remaining CTs. Strange round, only 1 kill picked up for a victory. Suggests you've called the perfect strategy at that point to allow it to happen, but MIBR managing to extend the lead now 4-2. Stewie really nailing that first shot. My God, he barely even saw Get Right. And as usual, you normally have one player anchoring towards inside. His job is just to get 1 kill, stay alive. That's the anchor's responsibility. Anything more than that's great. Anything less is a nightmare, because at that point, the rotation's so far away, you might as well stay, especially when you're on the brink of being completely broken. Good choice there by NIP. Great shot by Stu. And let's get into the next round. Important one this. Still struggling NIP. Couldn't even justify a bit more investment. All for Fallen. Still going to be uncontested for now. Dennis got his work cut out for him. Good smoke though. Fallen fires with the shot. We'll reposition now, knowing that they can't really do much more in that particular area of the map.
Molotovs, flashes. Everything required to take over the Brown Halls on the T side. They're going to leave that anchored now with Stewie. Cold throws over the bomb. Goes third. Close out the window, standard procedure. Molotov down the ladder suggests they want to force them back to the doorway rather than inside of it and drop on top of it. And I would say that's normally complemented by a peek from A-Nate, but as there's no one there, I think they're just trying to hold the player at ladder at bay and then head over toward B. Nate as well. It's going to keep Rez further back, and sure enough, they are heading over toward the Brown Halls.
Yeah, you can see both those grenades are designed to land in the entrance where CT thinks it's safe to hold. Nice little idea, wasn't perfectly executed. They're still relentless in their approach. Rez completely blind. To be fair, doesn't have to aim too much in that particular scenario. Gets one. Get right, looking much better inside now. Bit of backup here from Lecro. Should guarantee the round. Bomb down, 15 seconds remaining. Fallen has to save that AWP. NIP, though, have done it. Rez especially. That was so awkward for him. They threw everything down towards that ladder, including the kitchen sink. They had Molotovs, flashbangs, smokes, HEs, and players, and he manages to get one, stay alive, push them towards inside. That's why Get Right and Lekra are waiting as they win the round. It will be their third on the board now. They still don't have the AWP, but remember, they don't have a world-class AWPer who only needs to play that weapon. They've got riflers who can pick up the AWP, so they're fine running 5 and 4s or AKs especially. And we'll see what round A brings. Fallen might go for the main pick this time. Smoked out before, realizes that Ivy's pretty covered. Indeed, he will head there. Molotov at the start, but he receives one as well, gets in the pallet. Good position for the players getting on top of the trains here. The grenade usage has been great. Doesn't inflict a ton of damage, but that one might do. There it is. Fur takes that in the back pocket, down to 53.
Rez again will work to ladder. Successful in the last round, why not give it a go again? This time he is a lot closer, so didn't see anyone above him, but utility might have been better served. Fallen's going to open it up. Actually gets Forest. That's outside sight. That came from A main, so we must have swung out wide to get that shot. Oh, no, rotate back upstairs. Dennis is tagged by the smoke. Does Tarek respond to that? I thought he might. Because the utility hitting him on the way by, excuse me, it wasn't smoke, but either way, it might have suggested that to take the fight was the right idea. Either way, Tarek gets taken down. That controls Ivy. It allows Dennis to fall back. He's only got 5 HP. But there's so much time still at 40 seconds that him falling off of Ivy and that much damage done means that Cold Zero could actually still open up the outer site. More so, keep in mind that if they go B, if they want to commit to that right now, which it looks like they will, he can lurk in late from the back tracks as the CTs are trying to retake.
Go through CT spawn and be a right nuisance. That is definitely a possibility here. They are going to execute towards inside, get right before. Can't connect the shots this time. Fallen and Stewie help themselves to the inside bomb site. Cold Zero is not even needed for the flank, but he is there to catch the player saving. That is fantastic. So it actually has 2 very good outcomes, whatever happens there. Oh my goodness. Cold Zero, he wants to go to the arena. Great shots by him. Takes the money away. Looks like an ice cold killer as well. Very calm as he finishes things off there. Good night. Rez, this was a hell of a shot. Wow. 2 majors under his belt already. Cold Zero. One's the third by the looks of things. Forest with the scout. They are going to force into this one. 5-3 down, Matt. Really not looking good for an IP on that CT side. Need to start getting some round on the board now.
Ooh, leg shot. Rez just barely gets away with his life. That was based on spawn. The AWP transfers back into Fallen's hands. Tarek once again will face off at Ivy, and once again it's Dennis that's on the backside. The server flash in. Tarek flash went too far, and Tarek was perfectly positioned, knew exactly what that flash meant as well. You only really throw that one with a smoke already down for one reason.
This is such an important round. Lost the first pick, put all of their faith in towards that scout. Hope and time dwindling for an IP. Need at least 6-7 rounds on the CT side to feel comfortable. Still a lot to do, and this one isn't looking any better. Less than a minute though for MIBR. Still not impossible to bring this one back, but if you look, Matt, they've got no defuse kits. just one smoke now to hold off what could be a full execution with 5 smokes. Molotovs, flashbangs. How do you even do that? You have to play in front, up close, like Rez is trying to do right now, and you need multiple frags from your key players here. Rez has been such an important influence in this series so far. Great aim, great talent.
Rez gets one. Tarek was already too close, and on top of the ladder, he couldn't get in time. Meanwhile, Get Right on top of the bomb train. Looks like we have a lineup for 2 players, but Tarek again is the one to strike first. Wanting the scout in position, has no chance to get through the smoke, and it's Stewie once more that finds Mibr the round. The money, or lack thereof, certainly showing for NIP in this round, and it's going to get worse in the next as well, because Lekro is in a 1 versus 4.
Yeah, he really is. Not really much he can do with this one, I'm afraid. Remember, this is a reset as well. They won the round prior to this one, 4, whichever way you look at it, as he'll have to now save this M4 and have any sort of fighting chance of causing damage in the next. I don't think he will survive here. They are coming for him. To be fair, he heads towards inside and no one is there, so he will take the M4, but his teammates will only get $1,900 per player into the next round. Lekro will survive, but they can't force around this. 6-3 down. They have to take another eco. As we'll see what happens here. Lekro with that save rifle, they're going to take their time to work out the play. USPs and nothing else.
Well, nothing else aside from the saved M4. So Lekro with the hot hand. We'll see if it pays off or not, as Stewie will throw out the Molotov to the corner, knowing that the one gun was saved. Make sure there's going to be no contest at that position. They just want to secure the map before they start to attack. He is getting closer. So too, though, is Rez. After that Molotov extinguishes and flashed in, as Stewie should find the kill. I say that, I didn't realize that Rez had gotten back that far, so he's able to step off the ledge and fall inside of the site. Costs him 9 HP in doing so. Gravity, Henry.
It's a hell of a thing, and Stewie looking to pour help from above here. Rez will answer back. This could be a little bit uncomfortable for Mibr, but overall, bomb will be planted. Lekro's nowhere to be seen. Comes out the connector now. Should be able to deal with him quite convincingly. Great stuff by him, and we'll see what the next round brings.
It's not going to bring much. Well, it might now. I was going to say in the way of utility to go along with a buy if you're NIP, given that you're only heading into a 3rd stage bonus, but picking up that AK certainly benefits. He's also got a Molotov picked up from that, so that saves a little bit more money in that sense as well.
Well, the AK for Dennis, it will be something. 3 versus 1, but he doesn't look like he'll be able to catch any exits here, but things getting quite dire now for NIP. Dennis holding towards CT spawn. We'll see if he does survive. Dennis miscalculated. Forrest miscalculated before and lost the AWP. Looks like he'll be absolutely fine this time, as he will save that AK over. They have got a buy available, especially with that saved weapon. Mibr looking deadly right now. Every round is going in their favor. That's 3 in a row for them. Remember, it was the pistol victory for NIP, but both bombs got planted and just set the foundations for this really amazing financial situation for Mibr. They get the bomb down twice. They then have full buys in round number 3, and then they win 4 rounds in a row. NIP answer back after 4. They get reset, and they find themselves here. They haven't really had the opportunity to show us the AWP power on the CT side. It just hasn't been possible. Incendiaries in from Rez, and at this point, how they lost so much damage at the very start, it's all gone a bit pear-shaped here with the initial utility. Forrest and Rez down to about half health. Mibr look very comfortable right now, and you can see NIP just don't have the money to justify aggressive pushes. They can't seem to go for those first picks anymore. They're constantly just playing defaults and waiting for their opportunity to get kills. Just don't have the resources to really try and think a little bit more audacious.
So Rez holds bottom side of the ladder. As always, that's pretty standard in the procedure for NIP. Excuse me as I break things. Pretty good at that. Forrest is a little bit unorthodox, I suppose, based on trends and playing beside the A-main train. Fallen with no spokes down at Ivy this time. He's finally going to get an op in position. to try and capitalize. Couldn't quite catch on Lekro. It's Dennis that's off to the left side, in fact, in the cubby, so he's already in the hallway past the entrance of it, just holding off by the door. Stewie's going to go through. Gun barrel's not going to show. Dennis! Oh, Dennis. He gets one, but again, it's another situation in which it took him a lot longer than it should have. That could have easily been two, and Get Right's timing just off. Won't catch Stewie. Rotating around from Old Bomb. Now he will. Okay, he has pushed up, taken advantage of it. That's all due to confidence of Forrest finding another kill. And it's Cold, Zera, and Fallen.
It's looking good, NIP. Not out of this just yet. That's a confident round for them. 4 players survive. The time runs out for Cold Zera, but that's not going to affect his finances too much. He's still got 6,000s in reserve. But still, NIP can still win the half, so I don't get too worried until we actually get to the closing few rounds and work out which way this actual half will go. Cold Zera now discussing with Fallen. No timeouts required just yet. Double orb set up for the first time. Lekro and Dennis, not Forrest. It's being thrown around.
Dennis has actually gotten 6 kills in this. He's not anywhere or in any way failing to get kills. It's just these awkward moments for him. An off day. Forrest wants in. Look at how many people are waiting for Stewie being one of them, and he certainly made no mistake. There was no flash. It was all too easy, you could argue. As Get Right does get cold back, Stewie finds a second onto Rez. Dennis has the WP this time. He's going to play it from Hitch. Thankfully, that smoke already in position. He won't be able to push through, because if he had, he would have been blinded and standing in the open. It almost saved him in some ways, as Get Right gets Stewie back with full level on 3s. Bomb to be planted. Fur did not push forward enough. Get Right's on the bomb train. I'm not sure Fur's aware of this positioning. If he hadn't gone all the way, he might have been able to catch the planter. Did he make noise? Because Fur suddenly turned around.
Remember what we said about how difficult it is to retake here. 2 orbs in the retake. This is looking hard. They've still got a Molotov for the bomb as well. Mibr with Fallen coming around towards the connector. This is perfect, but Dennis can spot Fur. Here we go, a chance at least. But will they suspect that Fallen's coming from that connector?
This is exactly it. Fallen is perfectly positioned. Dennis down. Now they know he's there. The problem is, they tap the bomb once. Oh, as well. Get Right really has to do it all with the AK. Oh, the Molotov. Balls. Yeah, he's going to be balls because he's going to hold on to it. Did the Molotov get there? Just barely did. I didn't see it under his feet. But the bomb too far gone. That's what I was trying to say.
He got there in the end.
8-4. You had too many balls in my mouth, apparently.
They all just wanted to come out. Either way, yeah, Molotov was perfect. Fallen shuts it down there, man. That's so impressive. What a call to go all the way towards inside. Hit the shot. I hope we get to see the whole sequence here. As he hits that first one, nails the second by the sound of it. Yeah, indeed. Then he's got the awareness to know where the bomb is. It just about reaches. You're right. We couldn't quite see it from the first-person view of Get Right, but it does reach, and it resets NIP again. That's such an important factor. This might look like it's not too bad. It's still got 4 rounds in it. This is the CT side of train. You cannot afford to give NIP this many rounds on their T side. And it looks like they're guaranteed a 9th as well. As Forrest will open things up, but I don't think they'll get much more done here. Stewie's too close to the bomb side. The smokes are down. Pistols, but only good for 1 this time. Get Right, at least making this competitive. 2-on-2 now. They'll boost over. Maybe I spoke too soon. 1 minute 20, and Mibr still have a bit of work here to do. Oh, a missed shot there from Rez. That might give the game up.
Might. Rez tried to do what he could with the P250. Still want to be 2 versus 2, which makes things rather interesting and rather impressive from NIP to defend as such. Get Right has been getting on bombs and holding them in this game quite a bit. It's not really gone his way aside from the opening pistol, but speaking of pistol, he gets a kill. Cold goes down. He had no idea that he was going to be toward the backside of that train, so Fallen has to be perfect. He's so far away from the bomb, he's actually expecting perhaps a flank, but he'll wait till he hears the cue and goes perfectly timed to take down Rez. Get Right does have the AK, but can't do anything with it because of a punch, and Fallen finds the headshot.
Too strong. Fallen has been impressive throughout this series. 2 back-to-back. Huge plays from him. The inside flank before, and now holding on against a full eco, but it came down to 2 versus 1 against him. He plays it perfectly, and it's demonstrating once again how powerful it is to have the bomb down outside. Equal situation. You could toy with the CTs. They did what they could, but the lack of information really did send them astray, and it does fall apart. But no orbs again, just clutching at straws now. NIP have to buy. They need these last 2 rounds. 1 kit, bare bones utility. They've kept MIBR modestly, so they can win this round. MIBR will be broken for the final round, so Fallen to open things up. Dennis just offers himself up at the start. Took the peak, really didn't work out.
Forrest will be slow and patient in his positioning. He'll hold toward Ivy despite that they've already lost Dennis. He knows how important and integral that section of the map is. Plus how quickly he can rotate back toward the front side of A should the aggression go that direction. Meanwhile, they will probe out the brown holes. Can we call that a colonoscopy?
Sure, why not?
All right, nice. That's the new default name.
Well, not the default name. It can be the alternative name, perhaps. As we get into the 5 on 4, remember, CTs have to react to these sort of plays. A full execution when you've already got a man disadvantage can be very, very difficult to hold on to. But I like this setup. You can see Get Right watches lower ramp from the upper ramp. Lekro's got his back, and they can double down and help each other out. But when it comes down to the shots, Stewie's incredibly good at it. Demonstrating Jake Yip as he takes down 2. Fur says, you're a bit too good. I'm going to have to put you down. As the team kill comes in, but I think NIP will still have nothing to say as they'll have to fall back and save for the last round. Double digits already, Matt, and maybe the chance of a few more.
Yeah, this is a big lead.
Or one more. It's round number 4.
10-5 certainly. I mean, 11-4 is as well. It's train, it's momentum, it's T-sided, which means it not only in the virtue of the strategy being T-sided, it makes it even more easy because the money's harder on the CT side, right? So it really is momentum based on that attack. That said, I think you need 5. I think you really need 5 if you're on IP, which may be almost impossible considering the money. So these 2 M4s absolutely need to be saved.
They're going to be holding behind the dumpster. They're a 3rd stage loss bonus, meaning you get $2,400 per player into the final round here for an IP. It's looking likely that MIBR are going to the playoffs here unless someone goes absolutely huge on the T side. I always say that though, but it always seems to go the full distance, so you never know. Especially when there's so much on the line, a lot of pressure, mistakes are made. You can never count any of these teams out. 2 scouts, CZs, M4s, looking for round number 5. I totally agree. 5 would at least, you'd feel like this is possible. 11-4 down on CT, you'd be like, this is going to be very, very difficult.
Dennis peeking down toward A main. Double scout CZ. Good luck. Not impossible. We saw it come to a one-on-one when they had pistols just a few rounds ago. It was between Fallen and Get Right in that occasion. Ultimately, the bomb being planted is what saved them because they didn't have kits and no armor for Get Right. Didn't have the time to really take the fight. Speaking of bomb, it will be Fallen heading over toward B. First sees the bullets coming through and decides, all right, I'll just duck down.
Take cover.
I like how he stopped and looked at it first, then went, okay. But this is what it comes to. Lekro sees the shoulder, fires in. Actually hit Terror. Not actually Terror. No, he didn't. The damage was already done. It was Stewie instead. Lekro does eventually collect onto him as well as Fur, so it works out. They've got the advantage. There's a tag on Tarek, and that means he's susceptible of going down to not only the M4, but even the scouts on a body shot. Cold has other ideas. He's got Forrest and Lekro. Finally, Dennis responds. It's a 2-on-2. Bomb not yet planted.
Yeah, but this flank from Rez is actually timed perfectly. This could be enough. They won't be suspecting it, but Rez being a little too tentative with his approach. He heard the footsteps. He knows he has the advantage here. 10 seconds on the clock. It's unlikely they watch the flank, so he's got a guaranteed kill. Doesn't even have to take it.
No, that's perfect. He wants to go as close as he can so as to use the advantage, but Fallen still responds in time. He literally walked closer to disallow that possibility, and Fallen against all odds makes it work once again. Dennis has got an M4 though, and Fallen's on 5 HP, but he made the cross. Dennis missed the shot. Fallen can now buy more time, more space, and remember, there's no kit for Dennis, but he's got the time, surely, and NIP will get the 5th round.
They do. but it wasn't clean. They will have that defuse as well, but Dennis, I'm sure he was feeling the pressure at that point. Fallen so sneaky in those sort of situations, but they get the all-important 5th round. Now, that's not necessarily good news, but it's better than it could have been. 11-4 was looking certain with Cold Errors. A lot of performance there, but Lecro managed to take him down the scout. Fallen, though, how did he react to this? Luckily, Rez got the dink in to guarantee this kill for Dennis. Whew, that was very close indeed. Well, either way, must-win pistol for the Ninjas. If MIBR take it, they're potentially going to go up 13-5 here, which could be a death sentence for NIP. Last spots available in the playoffs. The Faceit Major happening from Thursday to Sunday in the Wembley SSE Arena. Get your tickets. It's going to be an amazing show. For the first time ever, UK players have representation at the Major in general. They've both made it to the playoffs itself. It's a romantic and tale of Counter-Strike.
Well, talk about the changing of the guard, Henry. You talked about this a little bit before this game because we wanted to see the result. This is a very different Major.
It's very different indeed. If NIP do not go through, we will have no French players. We will have no Polish players. We will have one Swede in the form of Olofmeister. And that is a sign of the times if ever I've seen one. We've seen 2018, so many breakout performances from young players, young teams coming together, and significant drop-offs in performance from the quote-unquote old guard. We're seeing more of those names disappear and more brilliant young talents take the forefront of Counter-Strike. It would be such an interesting swing of events if we didn't have a single Swedish team in there.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
One Swede is so
Fnatic.
shocking. And Fnatic, I get what you're saying. And NIP, to further that up as well, I know that that's not quite the same old guard, but even not to have any of the Brazilians in, that's become something else we've gotten really used to, and it's one or the other. This game determines it.
It's crazy.
I shouldn't say any Brazilians. It's Tacos, obviously, and with Liquid. It's the same situation, though, right?
Indeed. Well, here we go. The all-important pistol round here. MIBR know if they can close this one out. All of a sudden, they're one step closer to a very convincing victory here on Trace. To receive first, he's going to have players in front of him, only good for one. As the bomb gets closer and closer, it's Forrest with a 3K with the Glock. He really does not want to go home just yet. It looks like they might have done enough there. Fur just floundering on the bomb site itself. He's got players all around him, surely not going to get a kill. I don't know how he's still alive, Matt.
Well, Forrest gets Fur. Stewie wrecked by him as well. 5 kills, an ace from Forrest in the pistol. We talk about him being in days gone by. We normally mention Dennis, but days gone by being a solid pistol player. Well, it's back again, and how fitting, because it's been him and Get Right that have been so impressive throughout this series. He now has 14 kills total, takes over the lead for his team, and gives NIP a much needed pistol round. On the T side, first ace we've seen in this series.
I think you're right, and it's down to Forrest. Wants to keep fighting. That was a must-win pistol, and he delivers. Galil's AK Mac 10, force buy again, and MIBR so deadly in these rounds. You can't argue with a decision to purchase here. There is an argument to be made that they shouldn't be force buying here. They should just be keeping the economy strong, the huge lead they have, and just finish it out with guns. But a team this talented, they'll be feeling confident they can pick this round up. Let's see what they can do with it.
Smoke down and deep for Get Right. Fur playing on top of the train, has vision before that. No commitment, though. More commitment issues than me in high school. Lecro sits well back. He'll sit with a smoke and be ready to throw that to the outer sight. Not alone in that effort. Tarek will hear that land. Back one toward Ivy is very interesting as well, because it'll limit the scouts. There is 2 of them. Meanwhile, with the Deagle, looking for a shot. Damage applies, but only 49 onto Dennis, and Get Right onto Fur. Along with that first kill means that it's now just 2 rating, and it's the 2 scouts. Go figure. But it's another round for NIP.
Convincing stuff. And now the pressure starts to be applied towards MIBR. They will now struggle to bring out the AW. Luckily, Fallen has about $800 there. Be able to bring it out and just be compromised, might not have a helmet or any armor. But still, they're going to be struggling now in those initial rounds. as they didn't really get anything done there whatsoever in their force buy. It is going to be NIP keeping the majority of their players up. The Galils are there. Get Right's going to keep the MAC-10, means they can throw him into these bomb sites first. There's a lot of tight choke points on train. A lot of teams like to favor inside on their anti-ecos, especially these ones. You can let him out towards that lower ramp. The rest of the rifles can go upper. That's a very viable option, or you can just do a very slow default into an execution. We'll see which way they are inclined. Final game of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, and get your friends in here. It's your last chance to get your Counter-Strike fix before Thursday. Hopefully this will have an explosive finish. We want to see this go the distance, maybe one more cheeky overtime before the playoffs begin.
Possible. Don't rule it out. Speaking of cheeky, that's a Zeus.
It is. Stewie's got that.
Who would have thought? NIP, MIBR battling for the last spot in the playoffs. MIBR finally flying that legendary name brought back to life. And it might be the first time they don't make it through to the top 8 as legends.
Well,
the
all
core
bets
that
are
is.
off now. Considering they lost the pistol, NIP can definitely do this.
And for NIP, what a return every single form. This is back to the legend status after missing majors. Multiple majors. Rez already under the siege. Forrest will take care of Fur on top of the train, and it's again clean and clinical. It's just Stewie. That Zeus was really the power of God. Maybe he'd have a chance, but really it's not, and he's really just hoping for some fun at this point.
He's going to get up.
Ah, well done, Get Right.
Yep, baited it out. We're looking for the crowd pleaser. The Zeus kill didn't happen.
For all of the big crowd that is here.
The crowd would have been on their feet, but not going to happen. No, the crowd doesn't begin until Thursday. This is still within Twickenham. We're taking over 2 of the biggest stadiums in the country, Twickenham, and then
Twickenham.
Going to Twickenham, yeah. And then we go over to Wembley after this. So exciting stuff for Counter-Strike. And here we go. Exciting round up and coming. 3 players on Galil still. This is a bonus round if ever I saw one. The MAC-10, the Galils, lots of money in reserve, and MIBR timeout here. First one used on train. Yanko is getting stuck in. He knows the money's low. So like I said, Fallen has no armor, as you can see on the screens right now. They do not have any incendiaries. They have no kits. Fallen needs to think about how he gets the first kill here. Does he go towards upper ramp and try and patrol that alone, allowing them to have 4 rifles outside? Do they go for a push on the lower ramp with 2 rifles and try and get a pick and fall back? I would suggest they can't just sit back in the default setup here on the CT side. It's just a little bit too weak to hold off an execution, especially when you're expecting fast-paced strategy from NIP. They've got the bonus situation. You've barely got any kills. It's likely they go for a fast execution, either inside or outside, whichever they decide. I would say inside makes more sense with Get Right's MAC-10 ability here. He heads in that direction. And let's see which way they want to go with it. I'm quite excited to see what both teams will come up with here.
So speed from Get Right to get this far. Double flash from him, and his Molotov already thrown as he wants to get a lot closer to B. MAC-10. Doesn't spot anyone up close. So he'll sit back for now. Underneath of the ladder is Tarek. This nade might have his name on it. Oh, it will. Oh, will it ever?
That's great, but Fallen takes down one of the NIP players. That's Rez at the same time. So small victory for NIP. Massive step forward there for MIBR. That's the glass cannon AWP doing fantastic work there towards Ivy. Just Forrest isolated on the right-hand side now as Tarek repositions on top of the ticket booth and connector.
Yeah, I'm still looking for a second shot. Fallen's hands remember glass cannon, but absolutely perfect.
On a map like Train, glass cannon's actually not that big a deal. It's so long range, you can position correctly and avoid grenades and bullets if you so wish.
There's lots of cover.
Yeah.
So many angles you can use, as is the case for Fallen here. Again, he doesn't hit the shot, but easily slips in behind the bomb train. Tarek is aware that they are getting close. Tarek across the bomb train and taking down Fallen with that MAC-10. That was probably quite pretty from his perspective.
Yeah.
As Lekro does get Tarek as well, having only gotten Get Right in return, it leaves us 3-on-3. Cold swung now. Okay, I take it back because Forrest is positioned at hell. I didn't think he was. I didn't see it at first because he could have gone and lined up 2 on the bomb train, but Lekro solves that. Fur's in the same position. Stewie finds a kill, but Forrest never left that corner. He knew what his obligation was. That whole entire back wall, and Lekro gets nipped around. 5-0 start to this second half looking likely now.
I'm so happy NIP won that, not because I wanted to win, because now we're going to go the full distance. We're going to see both teams fully tested now. NIP can tie things up at 10-10. Has to be an eco of sorts for MIBR here. And get right, yeah, he manages to take down the AWPer with the MAC-10. Just as we say, glass cannon is not a big deal. He gets destroyed at range by the SMG, so that's quite fun, as we'll see MIBR start to fall apart somewhat now. We've seen plenty of comebacks here. I think the whole side debate goes to hell completely once you get this much pressure on the line and so much hunger for victory from both teams. NIP know they can bring this one back now. This should be a guaranteed round. We'll see what they can do. Going towards the upper round, like I said, very prevalent position. When you're against the pistols, you get a bird's eye view of the site going on that upper ramp. Someone patrols lower. And he's going to be trading kills out here. Nice work from Forest. Perfect stuff now. Molotov towards that connector. Get right, pushes through with the MAC-10. If he goes down, it's not a big deal. He gives away nothing. That is useless to the CTs.
Cold, just looking for some pride at this point, making it a little more expensive for NIP, but it was the MG, as you say. It really doesn't matter. 10-10. Nip back in this. Remember, this is it. All the marbles, Henry. Nap 3, best of 3, and Lycro's getting left hanging. Forrest even, I thought he said no. I thought he looked at him and shook his head. No, just not until we win. Not until we win. Then I'll
win first, and you can have all the fist bumps you want. Not that you'd want loads, but either way. Double AWP setup now. This is, so do you see what I mean? Though? This kind of is a case in point for my normal financial rants, Matt. You've heard a million times.
Oh, I've heard them all.
Yeah, right? This is, if they hadn't have forced on that second round, they wouldn't have struggled so much and not been taken down by a MAC-10 because they would have all had armor. They would have had everything and they could have recovered. There's definitely two sides to every story, and a lot of people will disagree with my views on the finances, but to close out big games, I feel like when you have a huge lead on the CT side, you should just give it a little bit and not have to force buy. So no kits again. They still haven't fully recovered, but at least they have the double AWP setup. Stewie presumably patrols inside. Yes, indeed, alone, holding that upper ramp like we said. So that means he can now play that position alone, allowing 4 rifles outside. Still can be compromised though with the smoke execution. We are going to go the full distance here, and NIP have been playing better Counter-Strike in the second half than MIBR, I have to say. They haven't given away a single round yet on their T side.
Yeah, that's evident in the score. Biggest challenge yet though, double AWP setup. For being set up with a crossfire to work with cold zero, typically you get a smoke either right or left and then attack the opposing side, so having one on both respective entries. Perfect setup potentially to shut down anyone heading through. We know Forrest flash through. Oh, Forrest got caught by that. That's a great flash. They took that back brilliantly. Both of them peeking even so as to get the trade, and Fallen finds 2 very quickly on the AWP. Best defensive round yet, as it's Rez and Lycro. Bomb still up. Molotov for each of them. Smokes are already down as to the flashes, and now it is truly just Rez left in a 1 versus 4. So great play from MIBR.
Default into a basic execution of NIP, and Fallen gets it done, but so is Rez. He's not done this just yet. Time suggests he can't win it, but he can make it expensive. Luckily for MIBR, Fur takes him down before any more damage is inflicted. Well done. MIBR take the lead once again, 11-10, but now the reset potential comes in. They will still have reset potential, even though the 4 players survived there, purely down to the fact it was such a weak buy before. Sure, they had all the rifles and double AWPs, but now they need to reinvest with all the utility, Matt.
And that's and you're right in saying double AWP as well is expensive.
Sure. Right. So now they need to get all the grenades out. So we'll look at the final money, even with 4 players surviving. Look, 0 on Fur, 50 on Fallen, 900 on Cold Zero and Tarek, still well within that reset range. So this is another huge round with a massive amount of gravitas surrounding it for either team. NIP's money is still pretty healthy, but they know they can close this out. They take this round convincingly. Inside execution, punish the fact they've got double AWPs and Stewie is playing it alone. That's the play right now. Forrest goes to challenge upper ramp. He is brave.
Stewie waiting. Arm shows, but so the nade looked away, didn't fire into it. Oftentimes you'll see an opper just guess in that situation, but didn't want to reveal that he was there, perhaps because there was no evidence to suggest that he was. And in staying silent, he strikes at the right time to take down Rez. Fur finds Forrest, another 2 kills for MIBR. Now that they've got guns out, now they're starting to roll, but the bomb is planted and Fur down. It might still be a 2-on-4. it's not a bad situation should Dennis be able to collect, because he's far forward. They have to go by him. Lekro's trying to take aggro. Unfortunately, he welcomed an op shot from Fallen that certainly does not help Dennis's chance. And again, he's wide of the mark, so it's going to be MIBR with 12 rounds.
It was looking so good as I built up. That punish towards the inside bomb site, the fact that Stewie's there alone, perfect. They got all the smokes down, they were close to the site. Stewie repositions though, hits a very important kill, finishes it off with the second as well. That's his job done. As long as he gets one and survives, Matt, we talked about this earlier in the first half, that's the job of the anchor. One and stay alive, delay. If you go down with one, that's not great. If you go down with nothing, that's dire. If you just stay alive and no kills, that's okay as well. But Stewie plays that perfectly. He doesn't overcommit. He's confident in his teammates' ability to retake that bomb site. He doesn't risk too much. And now, starting to whittle down NIP. 12-10 in favor of MIBR. Still anyone's game here, but that's the first 2 rounds for MIBR in this half, and they've been quite good. Starting to get confident now. Cold Zera waiting to pounce towards Ivy. Fallen can either flash him in or take the first shot, and Cold Zera runs around the corner once the first kill comes in. Plenty of options here, but another default for an IP. No presence towards Ivy whatsoever. They have no AWP on the T side. Flashbangs deployed, and Rez trying to show that fantastic aim once again, and he nails a headshot towards Tarek, but Fallen's still there.
Unfortunately, because it was Rez and Forrest, they've got great positioning, except the one kill that went against them, and that sequence of events getting to the site was the bomb, so they had to turn around. They couldn't get the plant, and they all get swept under the rug by MIBR. Now it's 3 in a row in their favor. There is money available to an IP. Not for everyone, but Dennis will get a charitable donation thrown his way surely, so too will Get Right. Everything they did to get that 5-0 start, and it still might not be enough. Oof. Good shot through the smoke.
13-10, Matt. Not quite broken, but NIP are getting there. They'll take a tactical timeout now. They've got 2 of those remaining. I'm so glad this is going the distance now. This is where you see true greatness and chaotic Counter-Strike come through. We'll have a look at the scoreboard there. We haven't really kept track of it. Fallen at the very top with 17 kills and 10 deaths. Stewie beneath him with 16. Top for an IP. Forrest and Get Right again. What a series it's been for them. Forrest with 20 and 11. Get Right 17 and 17. They can hold their heads high whatever happens here. They've played out of their minds.
They've been waiting the longest, arguably, to get back to this status.
Yes.
So maybe there's something in that. Put it all on the line when they have to. Lead by example.
I think there's going to be a few tears at the end of this game, Matt, whatever happens.
Yeah, either way. There's no question there's going to be some tears, and I'm betting it's the man in front of the scope right now. Get Right just down the hall. That will be shedding a few. Probably the majority. Maybe even all.
Everyone's just crying. Happiness and sadness. It's all gone wrong and right. Either way, towards inside. They're trying to punish that single AWP again, but this time Ferg with them. He's going to clean up there. Don't really expecting that unless he misses the first shot, and Rez can punish him for it. Bomb planted. They know Stewie can still be here. Molotov towards it. They might save at this point, but Stewie still fighting. This is looking more convincing now. He actually might call for them to attempt the retake. And indeed, they will. Stewie finds him an opening. Can they get any closer?
It would be justified, given that they've just won 3 rounds. They can damage the economy substantially either way. And there's no reason to believe they don't have a chance, because they all have kits, and Stewie's got another kill, forcing Lekro back after tagging him onto the flames. They're going to get closer. Dennis trying desperately to stay alive, to stay above the flames that now finally extinguished. Will have to support Get Right. He's down to 4. Dennis steps up, finally gets a 2-man spray down. A transfer at that. Stewie got Get Right just before, but Dennis is gone. Fallen's gone. He'll go down with the bomb. But being a martyr in this occasion, not the worst thing. 11 rounds for Nip.
That's not bad. Dennis, rough series for him. One of the more experienced names within the NIP squad. First 2 maps pretty disastrous for him from an individual POV. But this time, much better. These are really high impact kills. Calm under pressure as well. Did what he had to do to win the round there. That was his 13th frag. It's not setting the scoreboard on fire, but that's a very important sequence of events. Not going to be shutting down the money of MIBR just yet, but another tactical timeout. They will use a tactical timeout pretty much every round at this point. Nothing can be let by. They need to make sure they hold their composure on both teams. Money low from MIBR. You can see that reflected on the buy. Sure, they have a double AWP setup, but Tarek's only on the MP9. Not a bad weapon to have, especially you can go towards Pop Dog. Tarek on 11 kills, 15 deaths. I think that's the bottom of the server right now. Just actually in front of Fur. He's on 10 and 20. Normally one of his calling cards is the aggression on train, likes to push inside, push towards Ivy. You can see Yanko's definitely leashed him a little bit more. But quite a quiet one from Fur, yeah. Round number 25.
Close as you like. Micro still left with that Galil. Cold's going to support Stewie. Ledge play for him. Needs to be check it, and that's exactly why they do it. That's even better, because Cold gets the response on Lekro when they try and trade it. He spotted it, Stewie turned. He's since gone down, but they get a 2-for-1. Bomb gets thrown behind and is left there so that NIP can try and pull this back without giving up too much, as Tarek on an MP9 is going to take over A main. That's not a bad position to have it. And this is how you know they're desperate to just get a pick and bring this level. Boost toward B. That doesn't really work out all that often.
Done enough to get the man advantage here. Forrest taking damage from the HE grenade. Tarek positioned right at that main entrance, but for now, Forrest smokes down towards the lower ramp. Might want to explore his options with the AWP at close range. All three players now for an IP starting to head towards inner. For a great position just to get one and fade away. That's what he's looking for. Tries, but makes up for it in the end. Going for the double kill. May have overcommitted that. I think falling back was the correct decision. Cold's error of pressure applied. He can't deny the plants, but he can get closer and closer to get the kill as they fall back.
Cold sneaking up, checking to confirm that no one is on top of the bomb. They're both toward the hole. Tarek at range. That MP9 just can't do it from there, but it does give them the information that gives Cold the confidence to go more aggressive. Dennis now has to clutch it out himself. 19 HP. No one's yet on the bomb. He's making a lot of noise. Cold's still up in the upper position. Dennis was assuming that he'd drop down to get to the defuse. He's not, and MIBR find 14 rounds. On top of that, they've now reset NIP.
Well, there we go. 14-11, one step closer. My God, with the bomb even being planted now, that is a pretty huge reset. Remember, NIP were up 5-0 at the beginning. How fitting is it? The final map is a complete replica of the first two as well. NIP up 5-0, then they go on to lose 4 rounds out of 5 again after that. So they have to force buy here. This could decide the game in itself. They all are fully invested with CZ's, Deagles, 1 UMP, MIBR looking for playoff point here and eliminating NIP out of the major. They've been absent for 2 of them now. Didn't see them Boston or Krakow at all. They wanted to make their mark in London. They've already done that.
I'm going to go back and say Atlanta as well. It was the qualifier, remember? So they actually were not at... Technically, that now is part of the major, but they were not, by the definition of it at the time, were not at the Atlanta major either. So it was 3 that they weren't there for.
It's pretty insane. And like Matt said, there's going to be tears either way here, either of joy or of pure dismay. We'll see what happens. It comes down to this moment, in my opinion. This round decides if MIBR close it out right now. So much on the line and so much little to work with. Just CZ's, Deagles, UMP for Dennis. Here comes the execution. Last chance for NIP. Can they do anything with this?
Smokes are down, but look at Tarek's position. He's forward of the wall, and he has an M4. Get right's going to walk out somehow. Tarek, even though he heard him, he looked away because he wanted to fire with guys at A main. Get right, I kill everyone else behind the smoke. Rez, I'll give him credit. He tried to run them down. Cold Fear is helping them. It's Fallen that he hits, but he's still alive, and with 55 HP, he'll turn to hit Forrest. Cold got so overwhelmed by Rez running in that quickly, he was expecting a barrage of players heading his direction. He will finally get taken out by Dennis. It's still 2-3. So Nip have a chance in this. Bomb planted as well on top of all of the work done as well. They're on the defuse. However, Get Red's got to have to nail the shot. Does get Stewie. Doesn't have a gun to work with. Does have the angle. Fallen isn't close enough yet with the... Oh, AWP, he's not sure that they're on it. He didn't hear them get back on it. They threw the gun and hit the ground. He got on the defuse, and Get Right can't do anything. MIBR find 15.
You saw how chaotic that was, Matt. Get Right towards the end. It looked like he'd done enough, but a smart reposition there. But the team shots coming in, the chaos that was ensuing, it was unbelievable. That shot especially, you can see everyone's so worked up. Cold Zero, though, holds his nerve in the end, and Fallen, It's a very vital shot. Get right, definitely had a chance of that last sequence. So the bomb going down means at least they do get AKs here, but it's going to take so much out of them to get 4 rounds in a row and take us to overtime. But crazier things have happened in this major so far. 15-11, 1 round away from knocking NIP out of the tournament. MIBR much better off in terms of the utility and the weapons. Things off. Tarek can't nail the spray, does some damage, but has to pull back.
They forced overtime on the first map coming behind NIP. They have to do it again. Fallen, he's missed 2 shots. That gives Forrest access to Tarek's position, takes him down, no mistake about it. Bomb will be planted as a result, and it's NIP with the man advantage. Lekro may only have a deagle, but that's not to worry. The bigger worry is exactly this. Cold Zero getting behind them. Stewie's already gotten Lekro. This now goes in favor of MIBR. Easy shot for Cold. It's all on Forrest and Dennis. Forrest has played exceptionally well. Dennis has good positioning, mind you, because that's a gun barrel far too easily to predict the movement of, and he'll get the shot onto Stewie. Forrest will swing wide, know that no one else will be coming from. Old Bomb misses the shot on Fallen, however. And Dennis has to do it all. It's this, or they're done. MIBR could go through to the playoffs here and now. They're on the defuse already, and Fallen nails another quick shot on the AWP. Appropriately, he'll close it. The captain puts MIBR back into the legend status.
Stylish way to close it all out. The bomb was ticking at quite some pace there. Dennis looked like he had done enough, but commiserations to NIP. They are eliminated and will be making it to the playoffs. MIBR get through by the skin of their teeth. Has to be one of the best series for me so far. So much character displayed, so much energy, and just everything was great about it. The players stepping up, Get Right and Forrest playing amazingly well, but it wasn't quite enough in the end. Really enjoyed those last few moments as well. You could see the chaos coming through out, the team shots coming in, the communication falling apart, the pressure mounting.
Top 8 spot, that was